All righty, welcome in, everybody. It is the Rant with me, Pugs Moran, live from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios in the beautiful E Gallery in Dallas's Design District. I, Pugs Moran, do solemnly swear to deliver to you in a stream of consciousness performance everything that you need to know about this day, today, the second day of December, which I got to be honest with you. I've done all the research. Excuse me. Not a great day. Like kind of just like a kind of day. I mean, there's 365 of them. One of them's got to be like the least interesting. This could be it. However, with that said, there's a lot of things that are happening in the now. A lot of things bubbling over. I got a lot of good content that we're going to talk about. What do we do here on the show? Well, I try to give to you in 4 quarters. I break it up into 4 quarters. First one we call Antecedently on This Day. That's a look back at this day in history. Things that have happened on this day, right? Let's talk about this for a little bit. Like I said, this is where this day kind of falls apart. There's not a whole lot of great history on this day. It's all just kind of, cool. You know, nothing to get excited about, nothing to get me really ranting. Quarter 2, that's the first quarter, antecedently on this day. Quarter 2, we call that birthdays. Self-explanatory. You know what that is? It's birthdays. Hey, they're having a birthday. Quarter 3 is deads. That's kind of the opposite of the birthdays. That's the other shoe dropping. And what we do is we look at people who died on this day. And we're like, this person died on this day. And we talk a little bit about them. And through the course of us talking about them, we decide whether or not we think they went to heaven or went to hell. What kind of life did you lead, dude who died on this day? Dude or dudette who died on this day? Quarter 4 is the hot topics. Quarter 4 is the bulk of the show. We'll get to that in about 30 minutes or so. And we'll just run through everything that people are talking about today. We have a very, very fun chat room. Come on in, join the chat room. Come one, come all. It's got a cast of regulars. And I promise you this, we've been doing this show for 3 years now. There is a cast of regulars in the chat room. They are complicated, curiously emotional, but altogether exactly the kind of people we want around here. So if you fit that criteria, if you fit in here, you come in, maybe it's your first day in the chat room. And if it is, say hi. That's been happening a couple of times lately, last couple of weeks. I think it's the blue sky phenomena. Suddenly I'm like, hey, blue sky. Blue sky's a new platform. So we got some new people. Not a lot, not enough. I mean, the show, we are what we are. We are a sturdy, determined, small band of renegades trying to do talk radio in a way that, just not allowed to be done these days. If you do talk radio in America, and I've been doing major market talk radio since 1992, but unfortunately, my style, my narrative, my voice is not one that anybody wants to hear. Why? Because I don't do politics. I don't give a crap about your red hat or your stupid, I don't know if I'm boy or girl. I don't care about that stuff. That's not what we do here. We talk like normal people. This is a talk show for normal Americans, okay? I don't particularly have any fondness for the way either side have behaved. So, we're just going to hang out and we're going to talk about the other things. What kind of things are we going to get into today? Well, we'll do the headlines, okay? There are a couple of headlines that we need to touch on because you need to be informed, right? But I'm not going to really, especially the political ones, not going to go into I don't have any opinion. I'm just going to tell you about Hunter Biden and whether or not he's going to go to prison. Tell you about that, but I don't offer anything on that. Actually, I do. I have some thoughts on that. I actually do have some thoughts on that one. So, we're going to talk about that Big Ten fight. We're going to talk about Michigan and Ohio State. We're going to break that down. I got all kinds of different angles. We're going to talk about what certain people were doing and who I think is right. We'll get into all of that stuff. Other sports stuff. I got more sports stuff I want to talk. It was a big, long, sportsy weekend, wasn't it? Thanksgiving weekend. We're going to talk about the Trevor Lawrence hit. We're going to talk about what iconic brand from my youth is about to go away forever. Probably an iconic brand of your youth as well. We're going to get into all that stuff. It does need to be mentioned, guys. Here we are. It is December 2nd. You guys know what that is. You diehards, you know what December 2nd means. It means... I'm sorry to do it, guys. It's Pledge Week around these parts. It's Pledge Week. This show runs on your gratuities. We don't have any sponsors. We don't seek any outside help. I mean, there are people who offer outside, tangible outside help. You got your the gallery here. You got, of course, the Radio Misfits crew, the whole company back there in Chicago. I don't know why Ed and the boys are behind us, but, you know, they don't give up. They're doing it. But we rely on you, the listener, the everyday listener, who is like, you know, I'm so tired of listening to AM talk radio. I'm so tired of getting some crazy person yelling at me about how I voted incorrectly or about how, you know what I mean? You don't want that. So if you support that kind of talk radio and you want this sort of lifestyle, we're just people, please drop a tip, drop a little something. I'll scroll down below. You'll find out what it is. I think today's nut, or tonight's nut, this week's nut, actually the monthly nut that we need to raise this week by end of show Friday is, that's the typical, it's about $250. It's $50 a show. Can I make $50 a show? It's like a bartending fucking shit, people. So let's see if we can't get that done this week by end of show Friday. I love you guys. That's it. I mean, you know, I hate to do that. I hate to proselytize. But there are financial concerns when doing this little experiment. So if you can help out, as you always had for 3 years, let's see if we can't get it again. You might notice we're in a Christmas mood around these parts. Christmas mood. I put that up. I was messing around here. Okay, so here's the truth. Full disclosure. This particular studio, this pod, as we call it, here at the cool-ass E-Gallery Studios, the one that I have ordained as the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios, will be moving to an actual permanent location. See, this is right. It's looked all right. You know, it's cool. I like it. It's my little work area. But we're moving into an area of the E-Gallery that is going to be officially ordained by me as the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios. And those shows will be up and running tomorrow. So after today's show, I got a lot of breaking down to do. Got another thing I need to alert you all of around these parts today. The dog is with me. That's right. CeeLo, the hellhound, is here on property. CeeLo! I don't know where she is. Oh my God, you guys, we did this last time. She had to come to the studio. Now I don't know where she is. CeeLo! Yeah, hold on. CeeLo! Oh, come on when I call you. What are you doing? Oh my God, you little troublemaker. Come here. Come here. I want you to say hi to people. God, you crazy. Come here. What are you doing? Come here. Come on up. Come here. Can you jump up? Can you jump up and say hi? Come on. Come on, lap dog. Oh, look at her. Oh, look at her. Yeah, so CeeLo's going to be distracting me all day today. She's going to be hanging out. Say hi to the people, CeeLo. Say hi to the people. Bocha, bocha, bocha. Okay. All right, ready? You want to go lay on your couch? Oh, what was that? Bite you. Okay, you got my tongue. All right, that's enough. She tongued me. I just French kissed the dog. Let's see, though. Get up there. Yeah, good girl. You can get up there. There's a couch over there that she's allowed to get on because it's a couch that's splattered in paint. So she's very rare for her. She's like, couch? Can I do the couch? She's not allowed on the couch in the other places she exists. CeeLo, what is CeeLo? CeeLo is a hybrid breed. People always wonder, she's so unique looking. CeeLo is what's known in the dog Mengele community. Yeah, there are dog Mengelas. There are just these people who go, wiener dog, Rottweiler. You know, it's like that. And then you get like this weird hybrid. Well, she is a hybrid known as a Hooly Bully. A Hooly Bully. You know, like the song, Hooly Bully. That's what she is. She is a hybrid of a Catahoula, Louisiana Catahoula leopard dog. That is what she is. Hybrid of that and a American Staffordshire pit bull, whatever the fancy name for the pit bull is. So that's what she is. She is a Hooly Bully. She's 110 pounds, and she's my best friend. She's not a good dog, though. Those of you know, she's not a good dog. She's not a nice dog. See, she's here at the studio because nobody's coming today, okay? Nobody come by the studio today because you will not be greeted warmly. You will be barked at and growled at, slobbered on. How was your Thanksgiving? Everybody have a good Thanksgiving? Welcome to Small Talk. This is the Small Talk segment. I had Thanksgiving with the Cirillos, the e-gallery people. And I got to be honest. I got to be completely honest about this, okay? Now, I'm always happy to be invited anywhere because I ain't cooking a turkey. If I was left to my own devices, maybe I'd have a day-old turkey sandwich in the fridge from, Jimmy John's or something. I am a single man. It's whatever. So I get invited, and I go and I take part, and my Bears were playing. But good. It was good what happened with the Bears, my Bears. Cowboys were playing. No, they won, but still, I just feel like that sound effect is appropriate for the Cowboys. And then we had a night game. But it was a full day of drinking and eating. And I said this. I first said it to myself. And then I said it in front of the people who probably needed to hear it. My Thanksgiving meal just last Thursday was a top 3 all time. Top 3 all time. Top 3 all time. I've never had a turkey that was better than the turkey that I had on Thanksgiving. I've never had a turkey that was better. It fell apart. You know how you know the turkey's good? Like, people are like, here's a nice slice of turkey. And it's all nice. It's all like nice and rounded maybe. And you're like, there's your slice of turkey. That turkey's going to suck. You know what turkey is good? The kind that it's so moist and it's so cooked. It's falling apart like a smoked turkey, but it's not a smoked turkey. It's so you get chunks. So I was eating like big hearty chunks of turkey. It was so good, man. It was so good. It was good. So that was my Thanksgiving. How was yours? Do anything? I got to apologize. I know all week long I'm like, hey, we're going to do a show on Black Friday. Hey, we're going to, I was saying we're going to do a show. And then look at me, last minute, Friday morning, I'm like, I ain't doing a show. I don't want to do a show today. You folks know that this show is my therapy. I do this show because I need you, because I'm very messed up mentally, depressed and anxiety and all that stuff. And I usually go to therapy. I have been in therapy for decades, right? But the last 10 years I haven't. It's just I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not really working through my shit. Luckily, though, I've got all my tools. Like I got my tool bag that I use from years and years of doing this stuff. And I have taken those tools and I've brought them here. And so every day I treat this show like therapy. Me just venting about, I'm never going to have a heart attack, and I have great cholesterol because I vent every day about the world. You people allow me to do that. It's an indulgence, and I'm greatly appreciative to you for it, but it is something that I need to do. So when I take a day off on Friday, I hope you know it's really just because I ain't feeling it. That was it. That's the long and the short of it. Just wasn't feeling it. Because I do feel each and every show that I do here. What did I do Friday instead? I wasn't hungover. I told you that E of the E gallery here. I was over, I looked at his liquor collection, and I once commented that his Irish whiskey game is like really lacking. And by that I meant non-existent. There was nothing. Cool. You got cinnamon Jack Daniels. That's great. Should I ever want to menstruate? Anyway. So I told you this. He went out and he bought probably, I don't know, $1,000 in Irish whiskeys. It's incredible. So of course I was drinking, a little neat, couple of fingers in a glass, not crazy drinking, pounding water. I was pounding water. I made sure I'm going to pound water. I'm going to drink this all day, but for every glass, I'm going to have 3 bottles of Evian. So I spent most of Thanksgiving in the pisser, and I didn't have a hangover, so that's good. This isn't a new trick. I knew this when I was 16, that if you just drink a lot of water, it's just that, I never did it. I don't know why. Just never did it. I just suffered through hangovers. Not anymore. So hangover wasn't the reason. It was just wasn't feeling it. I was just like, eh. But I am feeling it today. Let's say hi to the chat room. We got Christina. Hi, Christina. We got Peter in the chat room. We got the sports bras, of course, Cece. April. We got, it's Peter again. Let me say hi to more people that we got hanging out in the chat room. Come on, build the chat room. Let's go. More people. Let's go. I want to say hi to some people. We got Mikey D. He's my guy. Frankie B. Byron. Oh, my God, everybody. Adam is here. Everybody's here. April is here. Taronda, of course. All right, thank you. I see we've got enough people. We can get started. Should we begin the show? Why not? Let's begin the show. We're gonna have some fun today. By the way, can I just say this? Every single website that I go to that has a premium plan, you can stop with the pop-ups. I mean, I get it. It's Cyber Monday. But every single website I have been to today, right now, boom, just wanted to check quickly in on Twitter. Expiring today. Save 40%. I'm going to X out of that. YouTube. Hey, how about paying for this thing you've been using to great delight for years and years for free? How about paying for that now? No, I don't want to do that. Anyway, that's what's happening today because it's Cyber Monday. All right, let's get started, folks. Welcome into the rant from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios. We are RadioMisfits.com. Radio Misfits Dallas, to be truthful. I got to do a lot of Radio Misfits Dallas work today. I got really exciting people who are chomping at the bit to be a part of what I stand around and go, here's what I'm going to do. Well, it's time to do it. And a lot of that's going to get done today. RadioMisfits.com. There you go. Our parent company. The whole reason we exist. A little bit more than parent company. Welcome to the rant for the second day of December. I am, of course, Pugs Moran. It is the 337th day of the year. There's 29 inside a month. Well, duh. December 2nd, stupid. Inside a month till New Year's Eve. People who listen to this show every day, Monday through Friday, around about noon, you know that I count down the days to New Year's Eve. So it'll start like on January 2nd, it'll be like 363 days until New Year, that whole thing. But I never do anything on New Year's Eve. It's like, what am I counting down to? Am I counting down? I'm counting down to the moment I look at the clock and it's 11:45 and I go, I can totally make it. I can make it to midnight. That's what I'm counting down for. That's what happens when you get old. All right, let's do quarter one. Jeez Louise. Quarter one, we call it, what do we call quarter one? Antecedently on this day, of course, it's a look back at history. You might call it this day in history. Or how about previously on December the 2nd? Let's tell you about some of the things that happened on this day. On this day in 1804 at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, Napoleon Bonaparte crowns himself Emperor of French. Emperor of the French. Crowned himself. At this day, Notre Dame Cathedral. He would go on to win the Heisman that year. Pretty sure. This was a big deal because he crowned himself. The Pope. Yeah, this was a big show of that Napoleon was going to be a problem. So the Pope, if you were going to be a holy emperor, and the Pope in Rome kind of allowed that. Like he was like, all right, fine. You guys want to come, but I'm still the Pope. I'm still most important. Like in the Christian world of Europe at the time, the Pope was, let's not kid ourselves, he was the most important dude going. So it was his job when, a Napoleon would pop up or a King Henry or whatever, these people popping up, the Pope would have to travel to wherever this shit was going down. And then he'd bless the crown because now you're all, and he'd put it on their head. Famously, like hundreds of years earlier, the Carolingian leader, the great Charlemagne, who is, boy, if you don't know a lot about Charlemagne, you should figure that out. That dude was a badass. He up there with Alexander the Great. Charlemagne did some stuff. Anyway, Charlemagne, famously in a show of defiance against the Pope, took the crown from the Pope's hands as the Pope was placing it upon Charlemagne's head. And Charlemagne went, no, and stuck it on his own head. Napoleon did the same thing. It was rehearsed, though. The Pope knew it was going to happen, whereas in the case of Charlemagne, the Pope was like, what the fuck, man? And Charlemagne's like, you ain't the most powerful bitch. It was that whole thing. Anyway, it was Napoleon doing Napoleon things, and it happened on this day in the year 1804. Antecedently on this day in the year 1823, the Monroe Doctrine. We all know about the Monroe Doctrine. We learned about it in 8th grade. Do you guys remember what it was about? Yeah. Neutrality, right? It was about the Monroe Doctrine was basically like, hey, Europe, get your shit together. Don't ask us for any help. We out. But also, Europe, don't be fucking with North America, okay? This is going to be our Europe, and we're going to do our thing. That is basically, how me, a stupid person, would explain the Monroe Doctrine. We ain't getting involved in any of your European bullshit. Of course, we know that World War I, World War II would end those particular points of the Monroe Doctrine. It was on this day, 1823. On this day, 1845, Manifest Destiny. Look at this. You know, I always talk about the great spare presidents. And I say, you know, look, let's be honest. We've only got about 15 cool presidents. We got like 15 cool ones. And because we're biased, I'd say a good 5 or 6 of those ones happened within the last 100 years. We don't really know if, you know, just tried to come up with a spare president. We don't even know if like William Harrison, is that a president? I don't even know. I can't, that's how forgettable these spare presidents are. Anyway, we don't know if they were cool guys or not. We just know it's like, yeah, we never really learned about them in school, so they must be spare. Here's an example of a spare president who I would say that being involved in this would make him a non-spare president, but I don't know. We're stupid, so we don't know. We don't know who said it. We know the words. We're like, it's so important to America, these words. We have no idea that on this day in 1845, total spare president, or otherwise thought to be spare president, James K. Polk, in a State of the Union, spoke for the very first time to the American people about manifest destiny. Manifest destiny was a James K. Polk thing. So if you ever want to go, Polk, what did he do? That's a big one. That's like introducing the concept of manifest destiny and westward expansion of the United States. That's freaking important. That dude doesn't really get much credit for it. Anyway, moving on. Antecedently on this day in 1942, during the Manhattan Project, a team led by Enrico Fermi at the University of Chicago initiates the first artificial self-sustaining nuclear chain reaction. Whew. You know what time is? Big. That's big. That's big. I mean, the world changed after that. After they figured out how to harness the powers of the atom, you know, the world kind of changed. Certainly changed World War II, you know, changed and has certainly influenced the way this entire planet looks at one another. Happened on this day, big deal. On this day, 1942, University of Chicago, Enrico Fermi, the Manhattan Project. First artificial self-sustained nuclear chain reaction. It's kind of cool too, though. I mean, this is on the south side of Chicago. It's kind of cool when you grow up somewhere and, you know, you really don't, like, I talk about people in Dallas who, like, you know, I've never been to the Dealey Plaza. I'm like, you should go because it's really important and you should be at least curious about where you live. So in Jackson Park, I think it's in Jackson Park. It might be, but also out by the Arboretum in Lamont. So anyway, in Jackson Park, there is this like big stone monument to the Manhattan Project. This is in Chicago, right by the museum campus there. There's a big stone monument to the Manhattan Project. And it's not like they went, let's build a monument. No, it's like that's where they did it. It's like they did it in a building or something that existed there. They did it underground or something. And then they just encased the whole area in like cement, because they didn't know what they were doing back then. They're like, well, let's see if we can contain this nuclear radium. It is in the middle of the south side of Chicago. Let's see if we can keep it, you know, controlled. So they built this giant, anyway, you can walk by that and you just look at it. And I wonder how many kids walk by there, look at that plaque that says Enrico Fermi, University of Chicago, who look at that and actually it resonates on that, the importance of what they're doing. There's another place in the hiking woods where I used to go out, right off Route 83, like over there by, if you CalSag channels, the what is it? The Argonne. That's it. The Argonne Woods. The Argonne National Laboratory is where, after they did that at the University of Chicago, they went, all right, maybe we shouldn't be doing this in the middle of a metropolis of a couple million people. So they took it and they moved it all the way out to what is now the western suburbs of Lamont. And again, they just buried this shit. So you could be out walking your dog through the, you know, the long paths and the bike trails, and you'll come across this piece of cement in the ground. And it says, on this day was buried the remains from the Manhattan. It's like crazy. It's like, that doesn't seem safe. Trust the science, they say. Anyway, antecedently on this day, 1942, Fermi split the atom. On this day in 1982 at the University of you know what? We need to go back. We need to go back because I just realized something. Remember when we started the show and I said this day, there's like nothing that happened on this day. And then here we have it, 1942. Upon further reflection, and the Monroe Doctrine and Manifest Destiny. You know what I'm thinking? This is actually not a spare day. I'm starting to think that maybe I was wrong. All right. Antecedently on this day in the year 1982 at the University of Utah, Barney Clark becomes the first person to receive a permanent artificial heart. I remember this. This was a big day. This was a big news story, I should say. Here were the big science news stories of my middle school years. You had Barney Clark in the artificial heart. I can even tell you the name of the doctor. The doctor was Dr. Jarvik. It was the Jarvik heart. So you had Barney Clark. You had Dolly the sheep. Remember that? They were trying to clone Dolly the sheep over in Scotland. What else was a big scientific breakthrough of my childhood years? Test tubes. That's it. The test tube baby. That was the wildest thing. Now, that was a couple of years before. Test tube babies. The world's first test tube baby was born today. It sounded so like that kid never had a child. Well, apparently she's grown up, the test tube baby. But that kid never had. Come here. Oh, guys, hold on a second. Okay? Hold on. We got to take a very quick break here. Someone is here at the studio, and I got to go make sure the dog is locked up. Be right back. We've got a full show for you. I promise. Hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on. All right, go lay down. All right. Done your bit for the day. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. I don't even know where my glasses are. James, not James Parker from WBAP, who's also a member of Radio Misfits Dallas. Now, this is James D, we'll call him. Where are my glasses? He's one of the artists here. He's not just an artist. Like, he's the artist's right-hand guy. Like, he runs this place. Well, CeeLo the dog, who we met earlier, doesn't really like James, and I didn't think James would be swinging by the studio today, and he did. And he was greeted at the front door of his workplace by a hell-breathing firehound. A fire-breathing hellhound. That's what I was trying to say. All right. Welcome back. I don't think we should be interrupted any further today. That's fine. And if we are, you know what? We'll deal with it because this show doesn't have a begin time or an end time. We just spend the afternoon together doing shit. Another reminder, it is, of course, Pledge Week before we get back into that. Pledge Week, very important. We were doing, what were we doing? Antecedently on this day? I think so. Where did I leave off at? Oh, I know. I was talking about the great scientific breakthroughs of my childhood. On this day in 1982 at the University of Utah, Barney Clark becomes the first person to receive a permanent artificial heart. Those things didn't catch on though, right? Like everybody's not walking around, like we don't hear about artificial hearts anymore, or did they catch on to such an extent that we don't even make distinctions about the artificial heart? I don't think it worked, right? Wasn't it? Didn't they move on to baboons? I don't know. As a fat middle-aged man, I should be way more informed as to the progress science has made in fixing human hearts, but I'm just not. Antecedently on this day, year of our Lord, 1993. All right, sorry. 93, Pablo Escobar. He got taken out on this day. Pablo Escobar. Boy, somebody ought to make a TV show about him. There's like 50. Gotti's got like 50 TV shows. Noriega has a few. Bin Laden's got a few. But I don't think anybody has as many TV shows as Pablo Escobar. That dude, every stupid guy in America thinks he's cool. Like Pablo Escobar, man, like you find me a dumb guy, I will find you a guy who can have a long conversation with you about Pablo Escobar. That is like the thing that dumb guys know. They don't know about the Monroe Doctrine or anything like that. They have no concept what manifest, but they can tell you about Pablo Escobar, who was on this day gunned down, shot and killed by police in Medellin. Look, I'm an American. I really want to refer to that place as Medallion, but okay, Medellin. Antecedently on this day in 2001, Enron files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Enron. You ever seen Smartest Guys in the Room? People wonder, hey, Pugs, why are you so anti-big corporate monolith? First of all, fuck you, you moron. What do you mean, why? Stop it. But one of the main reasons, one of the big heel turns that I saw the American corporate monolith take was after I saw Smartest Guys in the Room. Enron, Smartest Guys in the Room. These are some despicable pieces of garbage driving around in their Porsches, stripper girlfriends, cocaine, all this crap that these douchebag frat boys inflicted upon the American energy sector. These guys, poor American energy sector. They're all such good people. Nah, they're all awful. Hey, by the way, quick note here. Speaking of that, discovered over the weekend. I'm going to talk at the end of the show today about some of the things that I'm watching. So we're gonna go through a whole TV review thing. I'm going to talk about the new Max documentary, Yacht Rock. I'm going to talk. I'll tell you what I think. I got a lot to think. I got a lot to say about Yacht Rock. We're going to talk about a Netflix series that I really want to talk about. It debuted on Thursday or Friday or something. And it looked kind of interesting. I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. It's called The Madness. Have you seen this on your Netflix? The Madness, them pushing the madness. I'm gonna tell you what the madness is about, and just stay tuned for that. I mean, if you're thinking about tonight about hitting play or just not play, you're gonna want to stay tuned for that because it's very important. What else do I have? Oh yeah, the other thing that I wanted to talk about here on the anniversary of Enron filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Okay, it took me a couple of weeks. You people were like, no, Pugs, you really gotta watch. And I'm like, oh, God, man, I don't know if I can take on another one of those. And by another one of those, I mean a Taylor Sheridan show. Taylor Sheridan, I mean, I remember when he was just, Deputy Hale on Sons of Anarchy. Now Taylor Sheridan is the most powerful man in all of TV, and for good reason, man. He's a very talented guy, a very prolific writer. He is one of those guys who can write dialogue between people. Aaron Sorkin is like this as well. They can write dialogue between characters that is both believable and resonates. You're like, wow, that was a cool that's rare. Dialogue fills up most of what we watch, and almost all of it is garbage, neutral, just, move the story along. Taylor Sheridan is good. So Taylor Sheridan's new show here on the anniversary of Enron filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy is Landman. Landman on Paramount. Now, a lot of you got to watch Landman. I guess it's been out for about a month. And I'm like, okay, all right. Then I watched 1883. I just can't do 1923, right? So the whole Taylor Sheridan universe is becoming unmanageable. It's becoming, I haven't jumped back into Yellowstone. I don't know, is Costner in it anymore? Or can I just move on from Yellowstone? Well, let me tell you something. Landman, thus far, I've only seen 2 episodes. It promises to be, in my opinion, the best thing Taylor Sheridan has ever done. And one of the big reasons for that is Billy Bob Thornton. Billy Bob Thornton, I'd kind of like to punch him in the face. Skinny little, have you ever seen him? I mean, he carries himself like a much bigger man than he is. He's tiny and skinny and whatever, old and whatever. And he's kind of a bitch in real life. Like in real life, Billy Bob Thornton's an a-hole. He's a theater kid from Arkansas, which is a weird sort of mashup of like influences and attitude. But, and this is where I always like to say, separate the art from the artist. Billy Bob Thornton can read the phone book on a milk crate on a street corner, and I'll be there like, yeah, Billy. He's like the best. He can embody a character and make that character interesting like nobody else. Landman, it's on Paramount. I suggest you check it out. It's really cool. I'll do more on that later. But anyway, that was on this day, Enron. Landman is about, I should tell you why it ties into the Enron bankruptcy. Landman stars Billy Bob Thornton as a oil field manager. He manages the oil fields of Midland and Odessa, Texas, a massive swath. Billy Bob is the guy in the pickup truck that goes from what they call patch to patch, which are the different drill sites, and he manages the crews, and he's also the liaison between the owner of the oil company, so there's like this whole billionaire aspect to this story. But that's what he does. He manages the land. He acquires land rights and land leases from people in order for his, big billionaire company guy to start drilling oil on. And it's just incredibly interesting. Incredibly interesting. What a wild world that is. Anyway, Landman, that's good. And on this day in 2001, Enron screwed up Chapter 11. All right, let's do birthdays. We'll run through some people who are celebrating birthdays on this day. See if they deserve a happy birthday or if we just should tell them, go kick rocks, man. Not a fan. Go kick rocks. It's a girl that looks like... Never mind. I'm not even going to say it. All right, birthdays. Born on this day in 1863, Charles Edward Ringling. Put a pin in that. This is an interesting thing that happens with this. Charles Edward Ringling, he's one of the Ringling brothers. He founded Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus, and I will unapologetically tell you that two of my fondest memories from my child being a child, now he's a 15-year-old asshole with opinions. He used to be a child. He used to be an adorable, loving child. Two of my absolute best memories are he and I going down to the American Airlines Center in Victory Plaza and taking in the circus on 2 consecutive years. Love it. Second year we're there and we're walking into the circus. He's like 4 years old and oh my God, he's excited. He's got his little nose painted red because he wanted a red nose like a clown. I mean, it doesn't get any cuter. It's just dad on dad's weekend with his kid walking in. And guess what? We suddenly get accosted by PETA as we're walking in. They start screaming at me. My kid clutches my leg. Get the fuck out of here. I'm just going to the circus, man. I am not responsible for this. I got a 4-year-old. I had to get him off the couch. We're doing something cool. He's going to see shit he ain't never seen before. Would you please just leave us alone? Yeah, I'm jazzed up on PETA. I love animals. I'm an animal lover. I don't hunt. I don't dig on that. You know, I think the veal is awful but delicious. Though I only have veal like once every 5 years. I ain't giving up veal. I know it makes me a bad human, but oh my God, it's so good. But PETA, we're going to talk about PETA later in the show today. They did some things, of course, they did on Black Friday. So happy birthday, Edward Ringling. Born on this day in 1863. Born on this day in 1946, Gianni Versace. Johnny Versace. He was Versace. He is Versace. Although I got to tell you, you know, he is Versace and he was Versace. And when Gianni Versace was around, that was like the Versace brand. And then he died, of course. Andrew Cunanan killed him as he walked out of his front steps to go pick up a paper on the corner. Gianni Versace died. 97, 98, somewhere back around then. Now it's like everybody thinks like Donatella Versace. It's like Donatella Versace. No, she was the loser sister who was around the whole time. It's just nobody cared about her because Johnny was the designer. Maybe Donatella is too. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care about that world. Born on this day in 1960, Razzle, English rock drummer. Of course, Razzle, the drummer from Hanoi Rocks, died in a car accident. Corvette being driven by Vince Neil. They made a beer run. God, these people were idiots. God, have you ever seen this scene depicted in any of the Motley Crue biofilms or whatever? There's a couple. There's a couple. This scene is depicted as Vince Neil is throwing some crazy party, and because he's a fucking idiot, they run out of beer. What kind of rich guy runs out of beer in the middle of their party? Oh, dude, it's Motley Crue. Oh, shut up. Motley Crue is all legend. Those guys aren't like these, oh, no, he's an amazing drinker. Shut up. No, he's not. He drank half a bottle of Jack Daniels. He's puking and he's falling down. You think that's like a heavy drinker? No, a heavy drinker is the Irish dude at the bar who puts down that half and then drives home. And nobody ever knows that he's even had a drink. Motley Crue were a bunch of pussy guys who thought they could party. I promised you, my boys, just the boys, I promised you we could party harder than Motley Crue. They were like skinny. They couldn't hold their liquor. Are you insane? No, man. It was just this crazy mystical confluence of all of these little 90-pound pussies who could all drink like 500-pound dock workers. No, they were just a bunch of sloppy drunks. But for some reason, we're like, nah, they could party. No, they couldn't. By any other standard, that's not partying. By any other standard, the shit they did ruined parties. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Razzle. You would die at one of those stupid Motley Crue parties. All right, born on this day in 1973, Monica Seles, tennis player. She's got stabbed in the back. Born on this day in 1978, Nelly Furtado. She is like a bird. I don't know what else she did. What did Nelly Furtado do? Boy, what was that, huh? I was like, you blink, you missed her. It's like Nelly Furtado was like a star for like 3 weeks, and then she married some rich car dealer and be like, I don't want to sing anymore. And now she just, is like a real housewife. I don't know. I don't know what her story is, but she vanished. Born on this day in 1981. Here's someone who didn't vanish. Here's someone who isn't allowed to vanish. The opposite of Nelly Furtado. Nelly Furtado was like, I think I'm going to take some time off. And the industry was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, enjoy. This woman is not allowed to vanish. This woman has done everything in her power to get her off the front pages, and yet celebrating a birthday today, Britney Spears. Britney Spears. We won't let her go away. We're just going to keep following her on Instagram. She's doing nutty shit. She's like, I'm dancing in a bikini with flaming swords. It's like, cool. You're 43. Your kid's crying in the background, Britney. What's going on here? Born on this day in 1981. Happy birthday, Britney Spears. Born on this day in 1983. Aaron Rodgers. Fuck you. Born on this day in 1998. Juice WRLD. Oh, man. I got to talk about Juice WRLD. I like to talk about Juice WRLD is a hip-hop guy. Don't know anything about him. Nothing. My son does. He's 15. So Juice WRLD was a kid. This is why I know about him, because he's kind of a legend on the south side of Chicago. There are actually monuments, like, you know, near stuff that I drive by. There's like a monument to Juice WRLD. I'm like, who the hell is Juice WRLD? Juice WRLD has a monument in Blue Island. This one is at his gravesite in Blue Island, which is a little neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. He has got a monument in Blue Island at the cemetery there that looks like it was built for a Roman emperor. It's crazy. I don't know who he is. Here's how he died, though. He was a hip hop guy, and he was in Crazy Story. This is how he died. Hip hop guy, flying back from LA to his home in Chicago. Lands at Midway Airport in his private jet. Private jet. Yeah, never fucking heard of him. He's got a private jet. Lands at Midway in his private jet, and the DEA was waiting for him because they knew that he was bringing back a whole bunch of drugs from Los Angeles in the private jet. So as they land on the tarmac, the plane is surrounded by DEA and FBI and Chicago police and whatever else. I don't know. Everybody's there. So he has the bright idea that he's going to eat all the pills. So he eats an entire bag of pills, like Percocet and Valium and all this shit. Dumb fuck. Of course he died. Of course he died. He OD'd. How long did he think? I mean, did he think, was his thought, oh, if they don't find these pills, they'll just let us go? They found like 900 pounds of weed. They ain't just letting you go. Your body's going to be digesting all of these pills while they're interrogating. You're going to die, dude. What did he think was going to, I'm just going to eat these and then I'll puke 15 minutes from now in the limo? Once we fool these guys, they're waiting for you. You aren't going to, this isn't, oh, they just happened to discover. No, this is the end result of an investigation. They are waiting for your plane to land. They know what's in your plane, dude. Anyway, that's how Juice WRLD died. Happy birthday. He was born on this day in 1998. 21 years old when he passed away in 2019. All right, let's do some deads. Speaking of, here are the people who've died on this day. Let's figure out if they went to heaven or if they went to hell. What do you say? Let's do it. Why are you making so much noise, my dog? The dog is making a lot of noise back there. She's doing that. She's shaking. Like she's got like, you know when a dog has an itch and they have a collar and so there's like chimes on it. And then they'll just from every once and again, you'll hear them like off in the distance, like that. Stop it. It makes me think she's got fleas again. She had fleas over the summer. And I don't like her doing that. Once, fine. I get it. You do it like 5 times in a row. I'm like, what is going on? All right, let's do the deads. I told you to put a pin in the other Ringling brother, dude, because on this day, which is also the birthday of Charles Ringling, I think that was his name, on this day in 1936, John Ringling, co-founder of Ringling Brothers, he died on his brother's birthday. Happy birthday, brother. Boy, you know they had, you know he was okay with it. John Ringling was fine dying on his brother's birthday. Because I got to imagine the Ringling Brothers didn't see eye to eye on everything. I bet you there was like some mom always liked you best bullshit, you know? Where did John Ringling go? Well, he started Ringling Brothers. I mean, I don't know enough about the Ringling Brothers in the early days, but I got to imagine he did some pretty mean things to animals to make them do shit. So you're going to hell. You're going to go to hell. You're going to hell. Even though I love the circus, I could argue that he brought a lot of joy to a lot of people over a lot of years. You know what? I will argue that. There you go. John Ringling is going to heaven. Sorry. I know I put him to hell, but I started to think about how the Ringling Brothers Circus that I took my son to. We still talk. It's a memory. It was just, sorry. Dead on this day in 1957. This is weird. Dead on this day in 1957. An early icon of film, almost all but forgotten, but not really. Guy was a major leading man in silent films, made the transition to talkies, but didn't really fare that well. He was a little bit old by that time. Stage actor, stage legend. Oh, used to tour the country. He was one of back in the days when the dude who traveled via coach was the greatest actor alive. This was, this guy. But like I said, we have completely forgotten this guy's name. But not really. Because there's another one. And the other one is also like a massive star. I mean, pound for pound, I wonder how big the original was, the guy we're talking about today. He died on this day in 1957. Famed American actor Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford, born in 1884, died in 1957. Of course, we got the real Harrison Ford. That's what I'm going to call him. Unless this guy played what were the equivalents of like the 1915 film world? What are the equivalents of Indiana Jones and Han Solo? Right? Maybe like Othello and Macbeth. I don't know. Harrison Ford. Is the first Harrison Ford, 1957. Never heard of him. Let's put him in hell. Let's just put him in hell. We're just going to put him in hell. We're going to put him in hell. Why? Because I like the other Harrison Ford better. And that's all the justification I need. Antecedently on this day in the year 1986, Desi Arnaz, Cuban-American actor, singer, businessman, and television producer, passed away. Desi Arnaz, of course, married to Lucille Ball, made Lucille Ball the most powerful and iconic woman of the time. And certainly, if we're going to take a larger view of the history of female impact on the entertainment industry, make a case for somebody bigger than Lucille Ball. Make a case. I mean, you could. There are other women who have done, but man, Lucille Ball. Desi Arnaz was the person behind Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball wasn't a businesswoman. Desilu Studios and all the money and power that Lucy wielded, she didn't get that because she was a baller, although she wasn't a shrieking violin either. She was a bit of a bitch. But the business that changed television, that made Lucy an icon, was all Desi Arnaz on this day in 1986. And do you know why he needed Lucy? He needed Lucy because he was a Cuban who talked like this. And white guys didn't take him seriously. He couldn't get meetings with people. But suddenly he's Lucy's husband, and guess what? Everybody's talking to Desi. Everybody wants to get a meeting with Desi. Good for him. Put him in heaven. I like Desi Arnaz. He's a cool guy with a cool story. And he loved Lucy. He loved Lucy, but here's the problem with Desi Arnaz. He also loves strange. Desi liked a lot of sex. Desi liked a lot of sex with a lot of different women. Doesn't mean he didn't love Lucy above all of them. You can love with the heart, and you can just and still need to have that weird, selfish sexual gratification of, conquering new land, which is kind of what he was all about. Desi Arnaz, dead on this day in 1986. I'm putting him in heaven. I am. I like him. I'm putting him in heaven. Seemed like a good guy. He ran around with Lucy. I mean, I can see why he's like, Lucy's kind of hot, but, I like a little something different. Why did I just give him... Why did I just give Desi Arnaz an accent from like A Fistful of Dollars? I just gave him a spaghetti Western accent. I don't know why I did that. Dead on this day in 1995, Roxy Roker. Roxy Roker. Helen Willis from The Jeffersons. We are moving on up. Very, very, very not run-of-the-mill character for me. Jeffersons probably started when I was like 7, 8, something like that. I don't know. I'm watching The Jeffersons, and all of a sudden I'm introduced to the Willises, and I'm like, hold up. That's a black lady and a white man. What's going on there? I'd never seen it before. And you know what? Most of America had never seen it either. Norman Lear was like, you know what? We're going to have an interracial couple, and we're going to have the Jeffersons living next door to him. And we're going to have George's reaction to interracial marriage become something that is discussed. I mean, Norman Lear was great at stoking the national conversation, forcing us to confront and talk about things. That's why he's a master. Roxy Roker, she played Helen Willis. She's the mom of Lenny Kravitz. She's the grandma of Zoe Kravitz. She's the cousin. She's the second cousin of Al Roker. What else do I need to know about Roxy Roker? That's it. She's cool. I'm putting her in heaven because I like Lenny, and I like Zoe Kravitz. I think they seem like okay people. You know, what am I talking about? I don't know that Lenny Kravitz seems like an okay person. Lenny Kravitz seems like a guy that if he lived next door to me, I wouldn't hang out with. I would totally have nothing in common with Lenny Kravitz, other than we're both really cool. You know, that could work. We might just, bond on the cool thing. The fat middle-aged man who lives next door is pretty cool. I would love to hear Lenny Kravitz say that, and I bet he would. I bet he'd like me. All right, never mind. Lenny Kravitz and I could be friends. Couldn't share clothes, though. Yeah, it's not like, hey, can I borrow that woolen vest? That's not something. Can I buy? Hey, Lenny, you using the leather chaps today? Can I wear them? I'm thinking about running up to the 7-Eleven. Roxy Roker, putting her in heaven because obviously Lenny and I are friends now. Here's an interesting one for my wrestling friends. This is a really interesting story. Dead on this day in 2020, Pat Patterson, WWE icon and legend Pat Patterson, killer Pat Patterson, a wrestler in the 50s and 60s and into the 1970s, transitioned into broadcasting with Vince McMahon in the early days of the WWE. As the WWE and the WWF or whatever that was grew into the monster that it is today, he would take more of a behind the scenes, although sometimes included in storylines, but mostly a behind the scenes talent relations executive with WWF. Pat Patterson was, interestingly enough, he was an openly gay man who did professional wrestling from, the 1950s and 60s and all that, but he was out of the closet as of, the early 1970s. So the whole time that Vince McMahon is working with them and they were a tag team color commentary, one of his best friends, all of that stuff. That is very interesting to me because there are a whole lot of things that we think about Vince McMahon and, being a closed-minded bigot might be chief among them because he seems like a bit of a meathead, right? He seems like a bit of a bad guy. Vince McMahon's best friend in the 1970s was an openly gay man, and he was totally comfortable with that. I think that deserves a little bit of, well, maybe he's not, all the bad things. I still think Vince McMahon is a total D-bag, but I do consider that to be a mark in the positive column for him. He was cool. Let's see here. Yeah, Sports Bra is talking about the Ring Boy scandal with Pat Patterson. He was, I don't know if there was any, I don't know, right? There's a lot you can overturn with Pat Patterson. I don't know. I've heard both sides of it. I've heard, so where do we put Pat Patterson? I think we have to put Pat Patterson in purgatory. Purgatory, of course, that no man's land between eternal damnation and the glories of heaven. Purgatory is like, well, we're waiting for I think we need a judge's ruling on whether or not he molested children, because there's a lot of people who say that Pat Patterson molested children and that the WWF covered it up and it was covered up for years. But I don't know. I mean, is there any real proof? I don't know. All right, there we go. Pat Patterson. I want to give you a positive for being totally a man who understood who he was and was not, running scared from society's judgments. I mean, this dude came out of the closet in the early 70s and then had the nerve to carry himself like a straight man. You would at least hope that when he came out of the closet, he would start wearing skirts and going, ew! No, he actually carried himself like a normal, everyday American male whose sexual orientation is assumed to be hetero. That's how he carried himself. But yet, hey, are you gay? He's like, yeah, sure am. Why, you want to go? Got a glory hole back there in the locker room. You can go. I don't know. I'm going to put him in. I'm going to put Pat Patterson in purgatory just because I don't want to get into it. I don't know enough about it. Let's say hi to the chat room. Hi, chat people. That's going to do it for Deads. We're done with the Deads. Last one goes to Purgatory. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. It's kind of a weak tap out. Sports Bras says that I'm sure Pat and Vince had a couple of drunken nights together. Mike says the WWF covered up a lot. Those are the stories, but I don't know. Vince, Linda, and Pat can all go to hell. Oh, my God. Mike D. All right, Mike D. You made your case. I dig you. You got it, my guy. Yeah, Sports Bras. Pat was the man behind the Royal Rumble. Yeah, it was his concept. A whole bunch of WWE stuff he's responsible for. All right, moving on. Here's what we do now. We move into all the hot topics, current events, and stuff that people are talking about today. What is this? Hold on, I got a little breaking news. Oh, this is not breaking. Oh, why am I on business news? I'm on business news like some douche. Like I have stocks that I need to pay. What is going on? Hold on, guys. Business news. How did that happen? I got a TV off to the side here that lets me know if the missiles are incoming or if any kind of crazy breaking news. What's going on with my screen too? When did the Christmas stuff? Oh my God. Oh my God, you guys. Look at this. The Christmas screen went away. How is that allowed? Also, I didn't have time to really look for a good Christmas backdrop. This is the last day in this wing of the studio. We're going to be moving into our own private little area. It's going to be very cool. Can't tell you how excited I am about that. Come on, they're making me watch ads. You know what? That static American flag never makes me watch flags. I might have to ads. I might have to just go back to the static American flag. 3, 2, 1. It's gonna drive me nuts. Okay, here we go. Christmas. Mikey D says I'm friends with someone married to a dead wrestler and have heard the stories. Well, I'd love to damn a man to hell based on the stories you've heard from a half-drunk widow, but Mikey D, no, you're probably right, man. I don't know. I don't know enough about WWE to really have an opinion on this, other than I've watched all the documentaries because I like documentaries. My son likes it. We just watched that whole Mr. McMahon thing. I remember there was some stuff about him there. Now that I'm thinking about it, that was all from the perspective, though, of Vince McMahon. And Vince McMahon would probably be sticking up for the pedophile who we covered up for decades. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, let's get into the hot topics, all the good stuff. Oh, I wanted to mention this. We do have an executive producer. We are in Pledge Week. You can see that down there. Pledge Week, we're trying to raise $250 by the end of the week. That means $50 a day. I don't think we've ever done $50 a day. That's a little bit pricey, but hey, maybe we can get it done. If you want to jump in, right down there underneath, we'll show you there. Every day we have a big tipper, and the big tipper is the executive producer of the day. Today we actually do have an executive. Hold on. Having a breakdown in the technology. The Zoom box has frozen. So let me crash it. All right, I think we're back. Are we back? We're back. Look at that. We fixed it. All right, sorry about that. Leslie C., I want to say a big thank you. She was the big tipper. She's the last person to tip the show. She tipped like last Wednesday or something. That was beautiful. Thank you. Appreciate it. Wanted to make sure I didn't forget about her. Leslie C., today's executive producer. If you want to be tomorrow's executive producer, all you need to do is be the biggest tipper of the day. All right, let's move into the hot topics, current events, and all the things that are happening that you need to know about. First and foremost, you got the big Biden decision, okay? I know we don't do politics. This isn't a political rant. I'm just going to talk about Biden pardoning, fuck! Take a deep breath. The stream of consciousness has a wheel that's whoop, 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 kind of like Biden has pardoned Hunter. Okay, there you go. I articulated that. Hunter Biden, I didn't follow any of that stuff because you people are nuts. You're all like, that's the worst thing that was ever. I'm like, same as like, the Trump stuff. Although I do think the Trump stuff was a little more important because he, president, whereas Hunter Biden is just like crackhead son of president. So, one is a little bit more important to pay attention to. Hunter Biden, don't care. He seems like a dauphin. He seems like a silver spoon. Doesn't seem cool at all. Seems like a guy who had the world laid out in front of him and he decided to smoke crack and do really creepy, weird shit. And so screw him. Story is the big news today, Biden pardoned him. Yeah, I'll give you the story, fine. I like to try and do this off the top of my head because for some reason, I'm like, no, it seems better if, I know what I'm talking about. I just talk, but I don't know what I'm talking about. I say stupid shit. I want to make sure that this is one of them partisan issues that some people in the chat room are going to be like, eh, and other people in the chat room are like, yay. So I want to make sure we play right down the middle here. President Joe Biden has pardoned his son Hunter, sparing the younger Biden a possible prison sentence and reversing promises not to use the powers of the presidency for the benefit of his family members. First of all, let me tell you that were I in Joe Biden's position, 100%, of course, fuck you, sons of bitches. Yeah, I'm going to pardon my kid. Are you fucking nuts? You bunch of parasites. Get out of here. Of course he's going to pardon his kid. He's done. He's pissed about the way all this shook out. You think that he's going to be like, no, I can't do it. I applaud Joe Biden for pardoning his own son. You want to know why? Because it ain't what liberals typically do. It ain't what the left typically does. It ain't. It's what the right does. The right would totally do this. If this was going on with Eric and, Don Jr., of course, Trump, there wouldn't even be a thought about it. But because it's the Democrats and they like to carry themselves as morally superior, let me tell you something. Even though I could spare my son a life in prison of rape and whores, I won't do it. Because justice means something to us in the that's the bullshit that they do, like Al Franken stepping down because there was a picture where he was it's the right thing to do. We know that the other side never does that shit. The other side's like, yeah, fuck you, make me leave. And guess what happens? Nobody makes him leave. So they're fine. So I'm glad that Biden's like, yeah, fuck you, man. I'm like 90. This is like the one thing I'm going to do out the door because you sons of bitches, you wouldn't let me run. Yeah, you told me I was old. Fuck you. So he's doing that. And God bless the old man. Who cares? Hunter Biden doesn't need to be locked up. What are you afraid? Hunter Biden, well, what's the big thing we're going to be worried about Hunter Biden doing, right? Drunk driving, something like that. I mean, I don't think he's like a danger. So screw. I don't blame Biden for doing it. I don't blame him at all. He's this kid. I would do the same. Politics is ugly, man, and he's done with it. Why on earth? Well, other Democrats would. It is because of my dedication to my service to this nation that I will allow my son, even though I have the power to let him out, I will allow my son, even though I'm going to hitting the beach, I'm never running for anything again, I need any of you fuckers to vote for me, I'm going to let my son run. No way. You're not a Republican. There's not a normal man who loves his kid that would allow that to happen. You're like, sorry, bitches, deuces, I'm out. My kid, you're coming with me. Let's go. Nothing wrong with that. The other part that I love about this is that all of those liberals that I'm describing, all of the Democrats today are pearl clutching. How could he do this? How could he betray the justice system by using his... Oh, fucking shut up. How could he do this? Here's the argument that we're hearing that I think is so funny and so naive, and anyone who makes it needs to be hit with a shovel immediately. Biden doing this is just going to open the door for Trump to be able to pardon whoever he wants. Yeah, that's what we know about this Trump dude, that he's waiting around for Biden to make the moves okay before he does. Fuck you. Trump will do whatever the hell he wants to do. That's why he got so many votes. People like him, and people trust that what he's going to do is going to be fine. I don't know if I agree with that, but okay, let's roll the dice and go. We got 4 years of this. The Democrats, the Sorkin liberals, who really need to get their shit together, because there is nothing this country needs more right now than a legitimate opposition party, and we don't have one. We got a bunch of people. Hall of Fame wide receiver Randy Moss. What's going on with Randy Moss? The story went away. So, of course, it's fine. Anyway, the liberal Democrats who are appearing on TV today, clutching their pearls, talking about how now it's going to be okay for Trump to do. Trump was going to do whatever Trump wants to do. You think like Trump's like, well, I know that they're trying to railroad Don Jr. on cocaine. Like, let's say 6 months from now. 6 months from now, Don Jr. gets busted with a bag of coke in a Miami club, which is totally possible. I'm just saying. Let's say this happens. Do you think that Trump wasn't going to pardon his son? You didn't think that Trump, like Don Jr. gets busted with coke at a Miami club. Trump's response to that is, this is a crooked South Florida DA who is up for political reasons. And then they'll show some black, sheriff, and he'll be like, this Democrat, this woman, she's going at. Come on, that's what Trump would do. It's why we elected him. You elected him because you like that shit. So stop hammering Biden because he's just giving Trump permission. Trump don't need permission from Biden for nothing, you fools. You fools. So good for Joe Biden. Okay, one dad to another. Fuck yeah, I'm getting my kid out of this shit. He's a fuck up, of course, but prison? Nah. Come on. All right. Joe Exotic better be next. Damn right, Jeff. Damn right, Jeff. Jeff, you have no idea how close that is to my heart right now. I am working on it. Look, you want to hear something funny? Something I haven't talked about? I find myself in the Joe Exotic universe right now. I am involved in the Joe Exotic. I am Joe Exotic adjacent with the people I am working with. Joe's in Fort Worth. We get to go. I shit you not. I'm in a meeting the other day here at the studios. We're all hanging out and we're brainstorming some shit. And this one dude goes, you want to go see Joe? He's saying that to me. I'm like, do I want to go see Joe? So you want to go see Joe? We'll go see Joe. We'll set up. We'll go, what are you doing this weekend? I'm like, oh my God, is that a fun, I've got my kid for the weekend activity. Hey boy, you're coming with me this weekend. We're gonna go hang out with the Tiger King at a federal prison in Fort Worth. Let's go. That would be fun. So I'm gonna go hang out with Joe. I'm gonna go see what Joe's deal is. Maybe get Joe a podcast here on the Radio Misfits, Dallas. I ain't shitting you when I tell you that's possible. Anyway, more on that coming. Shout out to my buddy Jake T. What's wrong with the microphone? What's wrong with the microphone? I just got April's like, microphone pugs. What's wrong with the microphone? Fuck. Seriously? Are we having microphone issues? Check. I'm not saying another goddamn word until somebody gives me a little more details on the microphone situation. Because you know how I get. I'm like, man, if this doesn't sound right and I'm just prattling on like a loudmouth idiot. Yes, it is. It's coming through the laptop. How fucking long has this happened? Seriously, because this is not right. Tell me when it's better. In a minute and a half. Why do I have a delay? Why do I have a fucking 30-second delay on this stream? I don't understand. I hate Restream. I really do. They're constantly changing things. Other people do not have delay. I talk to other people. I'm like, well, how do you interact with the chat room with what you're saying? Well, it's all live. I'm like, whoa, I got like a 30-second delay. I can't even have a fucking conversation with the people in the chat room about what I'm talking about because they're talking about something 30 seconds ago. And I never know when to move on because I can't tell. All right, let's see if we can fix this. Okay. Zoom P4, Zoom headphones. There we go. Any better? Any better? One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Better? Somebody let me know. Let me know. We'll try and figure out this sound thing. There we go. Cece, I swear to God, if you're only saying that because you know, okay, I trust April. I trust April. April, where's Leslie C? She's my exec producer. Leslie should have been the one on this, but that's okay. Thank you, April. I appreciate it. All right, so my whole Biden rant was like through like shitty sound. Fuck. All right, moving on. What else do we have happening in the world today? Cyber Monday. It's Cyber Monday. I was complaining earlier today about every website that I've been to today, whether it's on my phone, on a laptop, whatever, every website, before I can actually access the website, they got their hand in my pocket. They're like, hey, 40% off. What? 40% off? I'm using this website for free right now. What is this 40% off? What is 40% off what? I'm using this for free. I'm not paying anything. Twitter, hey, it's only going to be $8 a month. Twitter's like, hey, sign up now for a full year of Twitter. It'll only be $8 a month. I'm like, dude, that's $8 more than I'm paying right now. And I'm barely on here. You guys suck. You're trying to get $8 out of me? Pathetic. World's richest man shakes his little tin cup on Cyber Monday for $8. Stop it. All right, Cyber Monday. I got nothing else for Cyber Monday. Hey, how about tipping the show on Cyber Monday? Hey, how about with, maybe you save like $1,000 on a flat screen today. Maybe drop 20 or something, to the show. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's keep going. Cyber Monday, Biden, we've covered those things. Here's a sad story. This has really got me kind of bummed out. Are you guys familiar with what's going on with Nissan? Or are you old like me and want to go back to calling it Datsun? I used to like Datsun. Remember the Datsun 280ZX and the Datsun B210? Those were cool cars. And then they changed it to Nissan. Like around like 1983, it's like, why does that Datsun now say Nissan? You can't do that. You can't do that. We like Datsun. In America, we like Datsun. D-A-T-S-U-N. It was and it's Nissan, but now Nissan is apparently going out of business. Major car manufacturer. Yeah, I just referred to Nissan as a major car manufacturer. I did. I just said that because I'm a. Hey, remember a couple weeks ago when I was going to try and. Hold on, let me try this. Is this paused? I can't tell if it's paused. I don't want it paused. There we go. Remember a couple of weeks ago when I was going to try and not swear anymore? And I was like, I'm not going to say fuck. I'm going to say frack. Like a Battlestar nerd. That lasted 2 days. Major car manufacturer is on the brink of collapse as officials claim the company has just 12 months to survive. Car manufacturing giant Nissan could be on the brink of collapse with only 12 months to survive. The Japanese auto firm, which employs 7,000 people in the UK and 17,000 in the US, has embarked on a huge cost-cutting program after suffering heavy losses. Nissan said last month it would axe 9,000 jobs and 20% of its global manufacturing capacity as it scrambles to reduce costs by $2.6 billion. Amid a sales slump in China and the U.S., These are its two biggest markets. Insiders fear the move may not be enough as Nissan struggles to stay competitive with rivals who have pushed ahead more successfully with popular hybrid cars. The warnings come as a strategic deal signed with competitors Mitsubishi and Renault back in 1999. All right, I'll tell you exactly what's going on with Nissan. I will tell you what's going on with Nissan. I don't know. Some of you might know this. I love Nissan. I'm a very big. Hold on, let me see if I can find something. Sorry. Okay. I love Nissan. I owned a Nissan. I owned an Infiniti, which is the grown-up Nissan. Infiniti is the luxury. By the way, how is Infiniti? I love the Infiniti brand even more than I love the Nissan brand, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why Nissan is going out of business. Okay. So here's why I love Nissan. Well, here, I can show you why I love Nissan. Photographic evidence, why not, right? Hold on. My uncle, who is dead now, my Uncle Joe was a chief designer and builder and pit crew chief for Nissan Motorsports, Nissan Racing. He built the famous Nissan 83, which I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show you what this car is. And then we'll talk about my love for Nissan and why I think that we all need to run out and buy Nissans. It's going to take a while because I'm not a very organized individual, and I remember I posted this a while back. And hold on. Oh my God, I'm scrolling through my old posts on Twitter, and I'm watching the Texas A&M cheer guys. Hold on, we're in no hurry. Maybe you are, but oh my God. Oh my God. You ever just run through your posts from the last couple of days and you're like, oh my God, I must have been high when I did that one. I do not remember posting that. Neither do many of you because there's like almost no responses. Oh, that's funny. You know what? Never mind. It doesn't matter. I can't find. I was looking for this video, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so Nissan. So my uncle was involved in Nissan America, Nissan Auto Racing. He created the IMSA GTP car, the Nissan 83, which absolutely dominated road circuit racing, prototype racing in the 80s and 90s. I mean, if you popped on ESPN, there was always one of these like exotic car races, and that red, white, and blue Nissan number 83. That was my uncle's car. Not his car. Don Devendorf was the owner of the car. Electromotive is the company that put it together for Nissan American Racing. But this car would go on to be in the Smithsonian. This car is the winningest race car in the history of professional racing. And it is the car that the Nissan 300ZX. Do you remember the mid-90s Nissan 300Z? It looked like a supercar. It was like the first time that like a Nissan or a Toyota or a Ford had created something that looked like a Ferrari or a McLaren or a Lamborghini. It was the original 300ZX, the Nissan 300ZX. And my uncle built that car. He created that car for the road track where it was tested and where it was perfected and where it got all of its, big attention and all that kind of shit. So I love Nissan. I'm a big fan of Nissan. Here I am. This is look at that. That's me. Look at young me. Hold on, can we get to that? Is that picture? There it is. Look at young me right in front of that beautiful car. So when I see a story that Nissan is going out of business, I get very verklempt. I remember the days when Nissan was, and of course you have to go between 1989 and 1993, but when you had Global Team Jaguar, Global Team Porsche, looking at this car, this Nissan, and going, no, that's the greatest race car ever built. They literally had to change the rules of the racing circuit. IMSA GTP changed their rules after this car won for like the 4th year in a row. By the way, when it says win, I mean win every race. Every single race, the circuit started to fail because every race was Nissan, Jaguar, Porsche. And then you had, Chevy, Ford, and all the other ones. But very proud of Nissan, very proud of this car. Those are some really good times in my life. And it's sad when I hear that a badge like Nissan from my childhood is going away. Even though I do kind of want it. Why don't they rebrand? Wouldn't it be cool? I think you bring back Datsun. You bring back Datsun and you'll have dudes in their 60s buying. Well, I'll buy the first new Datsun. Bring back the B210. That was such a cool little car. Go Google search Datsun B210. It was funny looking. It didn't look like anything else, but it was popular. It was popular for a number of years. Nina says, I had a Z. Nobody could drive it but me, but it was a lot of upkeep. Christina says they need to bring back the Xterra. Yeah, like that was a really cool SUV from the late 90s, early 2000s. The Xterra was a great looking SUV. Here's what I think happened with Nissan though. Nissan seems to me to be in a lifelong knife fight with Toyota. Nissan and Toyota go at it the way like Ford and Chevy go at it, right? But over the years, other cars that could almost fit into the category with Nissan and Toyota started to pop up. Kia, Hyundai, all these others started to pop up. Toyota went in a direction to compete with Kia. Toyota went in a direction where they started offering entry-level cars that normal people could buy a brand new car and not be out $30K, right? Nissan didn't do that. Nissan has no entry-level cars. It's like they do, but they're not a big part of what they were concentrating on. And then if you wanted to spend a lot of money for a Nissan, why aren't you just buying an Infiniti? I mean, the Infiniti brand is the upscale Nissan brand. God, my Chicago accent. All right, there you go. I'm sad about Nissan. That was a rough one for me to see this morning. Here's something that I'm not that sad about because I don't even know if it's true. Elton John says he's blind. Elton John, I've lost my eyesight. Apparently, Elton John's got some musical. Broadway, maybe. I don't know, something very, very on brand for Elton John. Whatever this is, Elton John's involved in. It's in Broadway and it's on New York. And it's in New York. And he came out on stage, I guess, for some new show that is based on his music. And he started talking to the audience. And he told the audience that he's blind. He's standing there. I didn't see a cane or a dog. And I didn't notice anybody really helping him move around. But Elton John gets up there and he's wearing his sunglasses. He's always wearing sunglasses, though. And they weren't like blind guy Ray Charles sunglasses. They were like circular, rose-colored Elton John sunglasses, Blind guys wear sunglasses that are dark and you can't see their eyes. Elton John, I could see his eyes. And he's like, I'm blind. And I'm like, no, you're not. You know what you got, Elton? You got eye trouble. You got something going on with your eye. Like something's not right because you're an old man. And that's okay. You got something wrong with your eye. But he comes out, he's like, I'm blind. And all the headlines, Elton John is blind. Watch the video. He walks off stage. He's not blind. You know what he is? He's a theater person. He's a theater person who was around a whole bunch of other theater people. So he had some news and he had to make it theatrical. So he's not just going through some trouble with a cornea or he's requiring surgery. No, he's blind. I'm Elton John and I'm blind. No, he's not. He's not blind. Unless he is, then I feel bad. But I saw him up there and I'm like, you're not blind. You're not. Moving on. Big weekend of football. Let's go into a little run here where we talk football. I love talking football. I'm a football guy. I love me some football. Let's see. April says, how is Mitsubishi still going, but Nissan is about done? That's a great question. That is a great question. Mitsubishi? What is Mitsubishi? Like, who? The Eclipse. I guess they sold a lot of Eclipse in like 2002. I don't know when they were cranking them out. I don't know. Mitsubishi, you're right. That's a dumb brand too. I see a lot of Kias, man. I see a lot of Hyundais. I see a lot of Kias. What the fuck is a Genesis? Can someone explain this to me? I'm seeing Genesis as a Genesis. Now, this is an interesting car brand. I don't know what it is. I don't know who it's related to. It's got to be like an offshoot of something. Here's what is that Hyundai? Is Hyundai doing Genesis now the way Toyota did Lexus, in the way Nissan did Infiniti, in the way Honda did Acura? All of these, brands have their upscale. Is that what Genesis is? Is Genesis upscale? Is Genesis the Lexus of Hyundai? Is that what it is? Because I see these Genesis cars and I'm like, that is a really nice looking car. That thing looks amazing. And then like, for some reason I go, oh, but wait, isn't that a Hyundai? Because like the stink on Hyundai is that Hyundais are kind of pieces of cheap. I should say cheap, because I don't know that any of those Japanese cars ever break down. That's the thing about those guys. Hey, look, I'm an American, all right? But can we be honest about something? The reason we have Japanese cars everywhere in this country is because they make better cars than Americans. Sorry, Detroit. Your entire thing is built on a myth. The shittiest cars ever produced came out of Detroit in the 1970s and 80s. The shittiest cars ever. You ever driven a Chevy Cavalier and the fucking glove box just goes clank? That's Detroit for you. That's American auto workers. No. You know where they fucking make cars go for 250,000 miles? Osaka. Those dudes, for some reason, don't understand it, why those dudes can make a car that goes for 250,000 miles, but if you buy a 1982 Chevy Cavalier, you're going to be in the shop starting about 25K. 25,000 miles. Oh, check engine light came on. Meanwhile, somebody's rolling around in a 1976 Toyota with 200,000 miles on. He doesn't even know he has a check engine light. It has never come on. Let's be honest about some things. Detroit sucked. All of the problems that Detroit had came from the fact that they made shitty cars for decades. And then we're like, buy American. No, the American is shit. That Toyota is fucking nice. That Nissan is nice. I don't know if that's changed. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's changed. I don't know what kind of product Detroit is making. I'm currently driving a Chevy Malibu. It seems to be okay, but I don't put a lot of miles on it. And, but I haven't really had any problems. Maybe they're better now. Anyway, Nissan. It's very sad that Nissan's going away. Very sad. What are all of those really competent factory workers going to do now? Hey, let's get them over here. Let's hire all of the people who were making those indestructible, badass 300,000 mile expected Nissans, and let's give them a job at the Ford plant in Grand Rapids. What do you say? Let's just move them. Let's start creating shit America. It's a made in America. Made in America almost always meant to me that it was going to be more expensive and it was going to be disappointing. Sorry. But the programming tells you different. I know. No, thank you. American tires. Let me tell you something about what race guys know. Race guys will tell you those American tires are almost all garbage. Toyo or whatever. Hankook, whatever it is. Cheap tires. American stuff. We need to make better shit. We can start with movies. We can start with making better movies. That used to be what we could lean on here in America. We'd be like, well, we make good movies. We made Gladiator. We make now we're making like Fast and the Furious 18. It's like, yep. Frankie B says the Pinto and the Vega handed the U.S. market to Japan. Frankie B is a smart man. Frankie B totally gets it. That is absolutely true. Frankie B also reminds us that Mitsubishi got into the game by making Japanese Zeros during the war. Yeah, they did. The Mitsubishi Zero. But if we're going to play that game, so did Rolls-Royce and Ford, right? I mean, all of the American and Allied bombers were powered by Rolls-Royce and Ford. So I might have Ford wrong. I think it was Ford. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. What else do we have? We were talking about Nissan. We were talking about Elton John losing his eye, how I don't believe that. Oh, football. That's what we wanted to talk about. We wanted to move into football. Michigan and Ohio State. Oh, my goodness. You guys like the football? Were you tuned in for Michigan, Ohio State? I was, because I'm Mr. Big Ten. I love the Big Ten. Grew up in Big Ten country. All my favorite teams as a child were Big Ten teams, with the exception of Notre Dame. But boy, oh boy, the Michigan and Ohio State rivalry turned ugly. I mean, this is so for me growing up, like there were rivalries, right? Like growing up for me, USC versus Notre Dame was like my family rivalry. My grandpa was like, "Oh, Notre Dame USC this weekend. We're gonna watch it." That whole thing. So that was my big rivalry. But I also, at the same time, acknowledged that here in the Midwest, this Michigan-Ohio State thing is big. I mean, big, 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 big. I moved down to Texas, and they tell me about that Red River rivalry. It's Texas and Oklahoma. Got to be honest. Never fucking heard of it before. I was like, what? What? And they're like, oh, it's only the biggest rivalry in college football. And I'm like, no, it's not. Michigan-Ohio State's the biggest rivalry in college football. And then their response to me was, yeah, never heard of it. Don't even know. So all of these things are regional, and we have these regional things that we hold near and dear, and they mean something to us, and maybe we move somewhere else and we don't really recognize how important. But you need to recognize how important, how weird the decades-long rivalry between Michigan and Ohio State is. 4 in a row now. Michigan won 4 in a row. Michigan sucks, by the way. I mean, last year they didn't. They were national champions. But Michigan should not be beating Ohio State 4 years in a row. They just shouldn't. Last year, yes. Maybe even the year before. But Ohio State is I keep going back to, didn't Ohio State have a 10-year run where they just beat Michigan anyway, that has flipped. And Michigan seems to be controlling this right now. So Michigan wins, and the time-honored tradition of assholes everywhere of not being cool about your win, not showing class or sophistication or dignity, but, rubbing it in their faces. Ha ha, I'm a mental midget and I feel good because something good happened to me and it's bad for you. Ha ha, that bullshit. Be a sportsman. Hold that thought. Hold that thought on me telling them to be a sportsman. But anyway, they did their thing. Michigan wins the game. They come out, they plant their flag. It happens. Midfield right there. Take their big Michigan flag. They're on the field of Ohio State. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bury the lead. That's the most important. They're on the field at Ohio State. Game's over. Michigan players upset. Ohio State, they come out, they plant the flag. Yay! And then, of course, that's an insult. Ohio State, they just lost, and they're really upset because not only did they lose in their Ohio State, and they were ranked what were they, 3rd? And this is going to hurt. So they're upset about that. They're really upset that this was the one game they have to win. The Super Bowl every year. People, they say in Ohio, they don't give a shit if they win a national championship every year, but you got to beat Michigan. Same goes for the people in Michigan. We don't care if we win a national. We got to beat Ohio State. So it's that kind of thing. And then, of course, the Ohio State players reacted like dummies, like stupid people, like a stupid child who is not in control of the way their brain controls their fists in their mouth. And they got stupid, like a bunch of dummies, a bunch of meatballs. You can't put the flag on my field. That is a symbolic insult. So all hell breaks loose. Let's check it out. I want to watch a number of different angles, and I have comments. Oh, my God, I have thoughts. Well, let's watch it first. This is the way it played out on TV. Here's what I'm going to show you how it played out on TV, how we all saw it happen, and then we're going to go on the field. We're going to go on the field with some cameras, and we're going to see some real close-up shit that maybe we didn't see on TV. I would like to say this though, and I posted this earlier. I talk a lot. One of the big tools that I love from my years of therapy is understanding indoctrination and understanding groupthink and understanding, having your own mind and your own opinion is important. I manifest these tools talking to you often about programming, about how we are all programmed. We all say dumb shit that we don't really think about, but we just think it's true because we're too lazy to think about every little thing. There are handy little prepackaged opinions that we can throw out there. Some of you morons are out there doing it now. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Yeah, you dummy. Okay, dummy. Really, really good. Nice thought. Never heard that before. You're fascinating. So I talk a lot about programming. So programming, we saw a lot of it after the fight's going on. Oh, Gus Johnson. He was just like chief programmer in charge. Gus Johnson. This is an outrage. This is unsportsmanlike. Nobody wants to see this. Oh, this is a terrible look. I have to apologize to you people at home. That's fucking programming. Not a single one of you, myself included, not a single one of you were appalled by what you were seeing. Not a single one of you had immediate thoughts of, this is the end of college football rivalry. None of you thought that. It was exciting. It was sports. It was passionate. There was a bunch of brain dead, roided up freak shows just throwing fists because they can't process their emotional upset properly. They're like, hey, we lost. That's what it was. And you see it all over Twitter. That was disgusting. I have never in all my years as a... Shut up. It was awesome. I played it back 1,000 times. I'm pausing it. I'm texting with friends. We're all laughing. If I could have that every damn week, I'd take it. That's fun. That's fun. And you would too. You absolutely would. But your programming doesn't allow you to admit that. Your programming is like, no, that's an outrage. That's so ugly. These are dudes dressed like knights. Nobody's getting hurt. They all have helmets on. They're all padded up. This is an exciting added thing to a game that we just watched that was very enjoyable, by the way. But the outrage. Oh, people were so offended. Stop fucking being offended. Stop, just react. Stop it. Now look. Do I like seeing players getting maced by Ohio State police? Ohio State police pulling out the pepper spray and just spraying Michigan players? Look, did I like that? You're damn right I did. That was awesome. These big dummies getting sprayed by... Get off the fucking field, you idiot. What do you think? Nothing's going to happen to you because you play for the University of Michigan? Get the fuck off the field. That was hysterical. By the way, I also want steroids in baseball because I like 700-foot home runs. I don't know about you. Yeah, I don't give a shit if this $50 million a year 25-year-old is going to have kidney failure in 20 years. I don't care. He's making that choice to provide me with 700-foot monster home runs. Don't have a problem with it. Do not have a problem. Don't have a problem with fighting in hockey. I don't think I've enjoyed hockey since they made it safe. Pugs, why are you talking like a meatball? I'm not talking like a meatball. I'm talking about things that men enjoy within the competitive realm. Sometimes hands get thrown. And you know what happens when you fight in a competitive thing like that? It's not a real fight. You guys are fine. You guys are fine like a couple hours. You run into each other next week. Hey, remember when we fought? So stop it. These heat of the moment battles that happen in sports that we enjoy so much are an added attraction. They are the icing. They are gravy to what we already... So I just need you all to stop acting like it's the end of sport as we know it. No, it's not. Every single person who tweeted that they were offended or outraged or shocked or horrified by what they saw on the field, you're lying. You're lying and you're trying to be morally superior. That's all. You're just like, I, for one, enjoy clean sport competition. Oh, shut up. All right, so here we go. Let us watch how it started and how it played out on TV. And I have to be honest with you, at this point, I mean, this was one of them deals where I'm not paying attention. This is one of them deals, game's over, right? The TV's on. I'm probably on my laptop just jerking around. They're interviewing the quarterback of Michigan. right? And then it starts, and I'm like, wait, what's going on here? Hold on, let me pause this. And I go back. So here it is. Let's give it a look. This is how it played out on the field. You're going to listen to that pearl-clutching bitch, Gus Johnson, act like this is the worst thing that has ever happened in sport. Look, I'll tell you what was kind of troubling, although also a very exciting thing to watch unfold on live TV. The Malice at the Palace. The Malice at the Palace was troubling and different than this because the Malice at the Palace had players going into the stands to attack fans. These were just players attacking each other. And I don't know about you, but I just watched them do that for 3 hours.
It does, man. And that's what we do. First of all, stop this.
And folks, something interesting is going on the field right now. Michigan tried to plant their flag in the middle of the Ohio State field, and the Buckeyes rushed right to them. And now there's some skirmishes going on the field.
Hey, I do want to point one thing out, though, and let me see if there's anybody in the chat room who might get a kick out of this. I don't know if I saw anybody from back home in the chat room today. Is Kevin Barber in the chat room today? I don't know if he's in the chat room. Anyway, number 30 on Michigan is Jimmy Rolder. That is, of course, the son of Tom Rolder. We went to high school with Jim and Tom Rolder. They were our buddies. In my neighborhood, lived right down the block, grew up with Jimmy and Tom Rolder. So now number 30 on Michigan, linebacker, Jimmy Rolder, named after his uncle. I think that's cute that Tom Rolder named his first son Jimmy after his brother Jimmy. Jimmy and Tom Rolder, they had parties. They used to have parties. They were tough kids. I can totally see why their son, and one of their son is a linebacker at Michigan. Anyway, that's Jimmy Rolder, number 30. I watched him. I made sure that I watched him because I was like, I don't want no Jimmy Rolder getting in any trouble. And he wasn't. He was like, he's a leader. He's like definitely a guy who's going to be in the NFL. Anyway, so if you see number 30, there he is. There's Jimmy Rolder right here. He ain't getting involved in this nonsense. Huh? All-American linebacker out of Michigan. From Andrew High School.
Unsportsmanlike gesture by the Wolverines. Unnecessary. They've won the game. No need to be disrespectful.
Now, this is some bullshit out of Gus Johnson, okay? These things happen. The problem isn't that Michigan planted their flag at midfield, Gus. The problem is that there are emotional infants on the other side who reacted to that in a violent and aggressive way, okay? What Ohio State should have done was just stood there and stared at them and told them that we're going to kick your ass next year. But no, they couldn't process the moment like that because they're all roided up freak shows. And they were like, yeah, I'm going to fight now. Shut up, Gus Johnson. This isn't Michigan's fault. Michigan did what asshole programs do. And yeah, Michigan's an asshole program. This is what they do, man. Stop it. It is Ohio State who takes the bait and creates the fracas. All right, so now I got to point out this dude right here with the flag. All right, this dude needs to get his ass in the locker room, but he's not gonna. He's going to just still walk around proudly with the flag, and while all of this is going on, he tries to plant it again. And here he comes, just sneaking back down here, running around with the flag.
Someone probably just needs to grab that flag, or else this is going to continue to get nasty.
The Michigan guy is running right through Ohio State. Ohio State big babies are doing a good job of not like just destroying him.
Nasty.
I know, as I say that, now they're going after him.
Someone probably just needs to grab that flag, or else this is going to continue to get nasty.
I mean, just listen to the fans voicing their disgust at this. Listen, I feel sorry for all 100,000 people that were in this, who were horrified at this sight. You can hear the gasps and the boos for the horrible behavior. Obviously, these people are completely offended by what they're seeing. Stop it. 80,000 people here are fucking loving what they're seeing. It really is like a good baseball fight. A good baseball fight. And what do you mean a good baseball? Oh, shut up. Baseball fights are awesome. They're not, they're great. You get to see all manner of cowardice in baseball fights. It's wonderful. What I like about baseball fights is there will be it'll start and then they'll get that under control, right? And then that'll be fine. And be like, okay, it's calming down. But then it'll flare up somewhere else, and then you'll get the emptying of the dugout. Well, the dugout usually empties first. But then once you get the long emptying of the bullpen, if the bullpen happens to be in the outfield, you get all of these bullpen guys who had to put their beers and smokes down, and now they're jogging in like they're going to do something. I love a baseball fight that has multiple eruptions. This fight on Saturday, multiple eruptions. Every time you think it's over, it's like, nope, here we go again. All right, I just want to, again, I'm checking on my boy Jimmy Rolder. Here he is, number 30. He's not starting anything. He's not doing anything. He seems to be doing a good job of being a leader of his team and getting his guys back to the sideline.
Ugly scene. Incredibly ugly scene for a beautiful rivalry.
Okay, right here, these two, this guy from Michigan and this guy, let's everybody go to the locker room, midfield. Let's just let these two trade hands. These two really want to go at it. Being separated now, and then move back. Oh, hey, there's Kevin Barber. Hey, Kevin, did you know that number 30 that we're watching here, that's Jimmy Rolder. That's the nephew of our Jim Rolder and the son of Tom Rolder. Pretty cool, huh? Sure. Reporters asked, this comes from Sports Browse. Reporters asked Baker Mayfield about all the fights, and his response was, let the boys play. Yeah, let them play. Let them play. Nobody's going to get hurt. What if someone does get hurt? Yeah, well, what? Oh my God, we can't have football players getting injured. Well, it's a brutal sport to begin with. Now all of a sudden you're worried that someone might get punched in the face. Stop it. It's like an ad for a gay sports bar. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's getting fired, by the way. Look at him with his perfectly manicured and dyed beard. That is a bullshit beard. That is a dude who has a gray beard who is refusing, and so he's making it super black. Big problem. Big problem, you dudes out there. A lot of you with your beards. I get it. Look, I'm a little tempted to maybe add a little something too, but no, I'm just going to keep going like this. I keep it trimmed to make it look good. Got a lot of friends who use the beard stuff, and some of y'all are idiots. Some of you don't understand that you're 53 years old and you can't have a jet black beard. It looks weird. You got to have a little bit like this guy. Nobody's telling this guy with his plastic surgery. Look at how smooth his face looks. Oh, this guy makes me ill. Look at the eyelid lift work he's had. You're a football coach. Now we're seeing the Michigan players who got tear gassed. All right.
Get these guys in the locker room.
It is kind of interesting, though, that the Ohio State Police, who were on the, I don't think they maced or pepper sprayed any Ohio State players. I'm pretty sure it was just the Michigan guys who got pepper sprayed by the Ohio State Police. These dudes got maced. These dudes are like, my eyes. My eyes. Let's see. 30 seconds left. I don't know if anything big pops up. Let's go on the field. You guys want to go on the field and see what it was like at field level? Here we go. Here's one. We just saw the 30,000-foot view. All right, I really like this field view. I think it's good that we saw the broadcast view first, so it gave us context for what we think was happening. I like this as an addendum to that, because this thing here, this is showing us some crazy stuff. This is field level. We're getting to see the actual. Let's enjoy I do enjoy the Michigan guy running around pointing at Ohio State players going, "You mad? You mad? You mad?" All right, let's see. All right, now this is field level of the flag. Okay, I wanted to pause it here. You see the flag here. The guy, this is all pretty much the initial hubbub has sort of, being managed. I'm not saying it's completely out, but it's being managed, and it looks like this is all the fight's going to be. But then remember, we've got this Michigan player running around the border, the outside of where this is going with the flag, and he decides to run right through the Ohio State side with the Michigan flag. So let's see ground level. We saw what it looked like from above. Let's see from ground level. All right, so it looks like Ohio State tore the flag, and another, trainer at Ohio State. I don't know who this guy is, but okay, so let's check this out. So I don't know who this guy is. Like, if he works there, he's like a locker room dude. He's fired, right? He's fired. He's like, "You're on camera with you stole Michigan pole. You need to just go sit on the sidelines and not be involved." Okay, so that's a reason to fire him, unless this dude right here is able to make the case that, "Are you nuts? These kids were out of their minds. I saw that pole. I got that pole, and I got that pole, that weapon, off the field." If that's what he's doing, then give him a raise. But if he's just out there being an idiot, running around with the pole, yeah, he's in trouble. I also find this interesting because, these are two major programs. These are major programs. All of these field level views that we're getting here, and there's tons of them all over the place. They're going to be very useful to NFL general managers come draft time. If you don't think that NFL general managers are going to look at these players and exactly who did what, who was instigating, who was out of their mind, who was the idiot, this stuff is going to be important, and it could affect draft status. And that's why I say I was proud of Jimmy Rolder, who I fully expect to get drafted. He's one of the best linebackers in the country. I fully expect him to get drafted, and I didn't see him do anything on this tape that is going to have some GM somewhere go, he's a head case who can't control his emotions. So that's good. But a lot of these guys, man, I'm sure in the days and hours that followed, they realized there might be some tape of them acting really poorly. Okay, so I don't know who that is from Ohio State, but he's certainly not calming down. He's certainly incapable of being an adult, a mature person, and recognizing that the authorities are on the field. People are getting sprayed. I need to shut my fucking mouth. So whoever this guy is, I don't even know who this is. Him, whoever he is that number 12? What is that, number 13 on Ohio State? Probably good. Now that I think about it, isn't he good? All right. Well, guess what? You were going to be a second round. Now you're going to be a late fifth round. By the way, that's about the difference between $400,000 to $500,000 in your rookie deal as rookie minimums. So, no, actually, I'm totally wrong on that. If you went from high third round is day two. I don't know, whatever. There is a difference in how much you're going to make if you fall from like second, third round to like fourth, fifth round. Trust me. It's the difference between how nice of a house your mom's going to get. Remember that, kids. Sorry, Mom. Mom has to get a condo. She doesn't get her actual house. Mom's getting a condo because I couldn't hold my shit together during the Michigan-Ohio State game.
Hey, just come on, please. Hey!
Give me some fucking water. Find a water.
Okay, this looks like an Ohio State person who got pepper sprayed. This dude looks like he's battling some kind. So I guess, if you spray it, it does. Anybody that's in the area is going to probably have an adverse reaction. All right, there you have it. The big fight over the weekend. Everything else that occurred in football over the weekend, but that was perfect. Exactly the way we drew it all up. Why do I have a goddamn commercial? This sucks. You know what? We're going back. Fuck it. Fuck this Christmas nonsense. We're going back to the American flag, guys. Going back to my flag. Where's my flag? There we go. Here we go. This is how the show is supposed to. The crooked American flag. What? Has this been crooked all day? That doesn't look good. Bunch of y'all in here talking about how you do your beard maintenance. I do my beard. I don't really have any beard maintenance. Let me look at what's my beard color going on. Yeah, I don't know. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with my beard color. Barney says his is all white. Says he looks like Santa. As I was saying, nothing else terrible happened in football yesterday. So let's talk about Trevor Lawrence. This is another big, highly controversial situation that occurred yesterday between the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, of course, a generational Trevor Lawrence. look, I don't have any beef on Trevor Lawrence. I really don't. Hold on. Let me make this small. He came out. He was the guy, he was the generational can't miss. Within 2 years, whoever drafts this kid, you're going to be Super Bowl champion, and you better build a new cabinet because you're going to get trophies. I don't know that Trevor has really turned out to that. Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback. There are people who are like, he's a bust. He is anything but a bust. He is bustable, though. He seems to be maybe a little bit injury prone, not terribly so, not that he misses like entire season, but he seems gimpy a lot to me. He plays and he looks like a great look. I got no beef on Trevor Lawrence. I think that it might take longer for quarterbacks to fully develop than maybe people thought. And, we're seeing it with guys like Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and Geno Smith and all these guys who were thrown on the heap because they didn't pan out in their initial thing, But I don't know. I like Trevor. I think Trevor Lawrence, man, I think he's got a gun, man. That can't be denied. I mean, he can throw a football. But it's Jacksonville, and what all is going into him not being the superstar that was promised. I don't know. Anyway, I don't mind him. So anyway, point is this. Jacksonville is playing Houston yesterday. Trevor Lawrence takes a hit. Let's just watch it, and then we'll talk about it. We'll watch it a couple of times. It's pretty big. I have some comments. I have some thoughts on this.
No, there's no doubt that Trevor represents that. Oh, my Trevor.
All right, one more time. Let's watch it again. You can see this. Now, if you're unfamiliar, like, I don't know, maybe you don't like football, you don't listen to sports, or you're, not paying attention to the headlines. This is a very big sports football story today because of everything that I said about Trevor Lawrence. He's, one of these guys who's expected and thought to have been generational and a terrific quarterback. So this is a hit that is illegal. Okay, I don't want to hear any of you people are like, it's not illegal. He's got to learn how to slide. This is so illegal. And we'll get into all of that. But let's watch it a couple of times so that those who are unfamiliar get an idea of what's going on here. Once again, here we go.
Represents that. Oh, no, there's no doubt that Trevor represents that. No, there's no doubt that Trevor represents that. No, there's no doubt that.
Hold on.
Trevor.
Right here. Okay. I would like to freeze right here. Okay. This is the beginnings of a slide. Okay? Now, I am not one of these guys who thinks that quarterbacks need to be protected and they're made of paper mache in the pocket, in the ground. I hate all of that stuff. Roughing, I hate all of that stuff. Not all of it. Not all of it. You know why I don't hate all of it? Because I'm not a fucking idiot. Because I recognize that some of it is important. Some of it actually is. Have they gone too far in some of this stuff? I think so, yes. I think yes. I think the quarterbacks, especially in the pocket, or not in the – well, actually, I think it's weird because we've got mobile quarterbacks now. My point is this. I think quarterbacks are definitely protected to an extreme. Some of it's important. Maybe we could dial back. Maybe we could just keep the flag in the pocket, the next time it's a really close call as to whether or not that was roughing the passer or not, because I have seen so many. I mean, that's a heartbreaking. It's like you hold him on third down. Guy's under pressure. Quarterback's under pressure. So he throws a duck out of bounds. And then you see the flag and you're like, are you kidding me? So, I don't believe that quarterbacks need to be protected. But I do want to point out that he's going into his slide here. Now, this is the defender. This guy needs to recognize that this guy is sliding, is getting ready to slide, and that's why the rule says you must pull up, okay? He doesn't pull up. As a matter of fact, he targets and then uses his arm. He's using his arm. It's not helmet-to-helmet targeting. No, that's for pussies. That can actually be excused. Helmet-to-helmet targeting is oftentimes truly accidental. It just looks bad. This is not accidental. He threw a forearm shiver to the jawline of a quarterback who was in slide mode 10 yards earlier. Okay, we got to pull up here. Right here, you absolutely got to pull up. And don't give me that nonsense about, well, quarterbacks could be faking, he could be shimmying. This dude is not faking. This dude's ass is 2 inches off the ground, okay? This guy needs to pull up, but you can't pull up. Of course, you absolutely can pull up.
Represents that well. Oh my, that'll be out. No, there's no doubt that Trevor.
Okay. Look at this. He is sliding and he's diving towards his head with his arm out.
Presents that well. Oh my, that'll be Al Shire, who's
play as that's just old school football. You guys are stupid. You sound stupid. Shut up. Stop saying it. This is like a fucking violent crime. This son of a bitch did this on purpose. Maybe you like those kinds of players. Got to admit, had a few of them on teams I've rooted for in the past. But I mean, let's be intellectually honest here. Trevor Lawrence did nothing wrong. He went into his slide a good 10 yards before this D-back decided he was going to make contact. He did. He slides. This isn't even like, well, was he sliding?
No, there's no doubt that Trevor.
Boom, right there. Right there. He is deciding to slide. Look at this space. Look at this. He is absolutely sliding here. And there he is sliding. And at this point, what, he can't roll away? He can't embrace him with a hug? No, he lays a fucking slobber knocker.
Presents that. Oh my, that'll be Al Shire.
Now, let's talk about why this is such a big hit. Because it was so obviously and blatantly dirty to my eyes. But it's this reaction here. The fencing pose. Okay? This is Trevor Lawrence on the ground, whose body has just said, hey, we're doing our own thing right now. And the fencing pose is that circular, that the disruption to your nervous center, and your body needs a beat. Your brain goes, hold on. Like, and it tries to, like whatever is happening. His arms are frozen up like that. We've seen it with Tua. This is a sign of momentary brain damage. It's not brain damage. Yeah, it is. I mean, it might get better. He might shake it off in a couple of. This is absolutely a sign that your brain has been damaged. It's scary, man. It is scary.
Who's flagged for the big hit on the slide, and that's going to start.
And here's another thing that's really upsetting about this. All hell is breaking loose. People stepping on his arms, people stepping on his head, people fighting around him. He doesn't have the sense to move. He doesn't have the sense to roll over. He doesn't have the sense to move his leg out of the way of 300-pound guys that are thundering in. He's out of it. He's brain dead in this moment. Not brain dead, but you know what I mean? He is like,
a little bit of a squelch. No, there's no doubt that Trevor represents that well. Oh my, that'll be Al Shire, who's flagged for the big hit on the slide, and that's going to start a little bit of a scrum afterwards as the Jaguars come in to protect.
He is still not moving. He is frozen in that pose right here. This is frightening.
Their QB. No, there's no doubt that Trevor represents that well. Oh my.
All right, how is he? Well, he walked, and they took him off on a cart. You know, he came to. Football's been played a long time in this country. We've seen a lot of big hits like this. It's only now that we're a little bit more in tune to the damage, that one suffers. It used to just be that, if you played football in the 50s, you were probably going to jump off a bridge in the 70s, and it would be a story. Former Green Bay Packer great jumped off a bridge, and nobody ever asked any questions, right? So as time went on, brain studies and all that, we're like, yeah, football fucks with your brain. Football, the CTE brain is, I don't know how you can look at that and go, I don't see any difference. It's like smoker's lung. When you used to see, this is a smoker of 50 years. and this is a 12-year-old. You'd be like, wow, that is a different. Yeah, I mean, so we know about brain damage and brain injuries, and that was absolutely a very scary fencing pose, they call it. Let me turn. I feel like the light isn't as great as it should be today, because I had to take down a couple of things because, like I said, I'm moving to a different studio. Because I have to move to a different studio today, you're going to get a long show. Because, I'm like, I don't want to move. I want to sit here and talk more about, because as soon as we finish here, I'm going to be lifting and moving. And where's the dog? Come here, baby. I haven't seen you in an hour. That's alarming. So, you know what? If I had like a bag of potato chips, I don't have a bag of potato chips. She would totally come if I went, with a bag of potato chips. Hold on. Sorry, guys. It's got to be done. Sit up. All right, she's all right. I mean, she's not all right because she's ignoring me when I call her, but she's all right. We got these skylights in the middle of the gallery here at the beautiful E Gallery. These skylights, and the sun shines through, and it almost looks like like God kind of a thing. And I go out there, and she's just laying on the floor in the middle of the sun. Hi, babes. Hi, did you have a nice little nap? You want to come up and say hi again? Come on up and say hi. Stretch. She's doing that dog stretch thing. Come on. Too tired to jump up? Too tired to jump up? I'm going to do a couple more things here. Okay? Come on. Come on, say hi. Come on, say hi. Come on, say hi. Come on, say hi. Why aren't you wanting to do... All right, you know what? I'm not going to play this game with you. Hey, that's my soda, dummy. Get out of the way. All right, sorry, folks. All right, Trevor Lawrence, Michigan, Ohio State. Okay, so we covered all those. Those are the sports things I wanted to get into. What else? Oh, yeah, that's right. No, sorry. We got one more thing we got to talk about. How about the top 25, ladies and gentlemen? The AP top 25 is out after a great, big, fun-filled weekend of college football. Rivalries, games that determine conference championships, all of that good stuff went down. We saw Michigan, and we saw Ohio State. We saw how much fun that was. Texas A&M on Saturday night. We all got together and watched that. That was a lot of fun. Let's go through the new rankings. The AP top 25. Oregon at 12-0 remains the number one team in the nation. Oregon 12-0 out of the Big Ten. Number 2, hook 'em, baby. Hook 'em. Look at us. University of Texas, Longhorns, Southeastern Conference. Number 2, that's looking good. Texas is looking so good. They really are. Man. I mean, they really are, man. No, they are. Texas is really looking good. Like, I'm always like, don't believe. They're just going to disappoint. I don't know, man, right? There's something about this team. This could be the best college. This is, big test, right? Big test against Georgia. So we'll see. Number 3 in the nation out of the Big Ten. Penn State, ladies and gentlemen, the Nittany Lions. Don't worry, moms. We're done with all that child molesting. Send your 17-year-old to come to the Penn State University. We don't molest your children anymore at Penn State University. Anyway, Penn State is at number 3. I every time I see like Penn State's been good for years. They've been good for a decade since the Sandusky situation. But I remember when the Sandusky thing was going on, where he molested a bunch of kids. I remember when that whole Jerry Sandusky thing was going on. I'm going, well, no one's going to have to worry about Penn State anymore. This is really going to affect recruiting. No, it didn't. People were like, I'll fucking punch that old man in the face if he tries to touch my ding-ding. That's pretty much, I guess, what all the football players who would then go to Penn State said. Number 4 in the AP 25, Notre Dame. Go Irish. You know, they're my team. My 15-year-old son, who is a standout football player, he has 3 schools that he wants to go to. He wants to go to his 3 top schools: University of Texas, University of Notre Dame, and the University of Southern Methodist University. SMU. UT, SMU, and ND. Those are like his 3 schools. I'm telling you, man, look at this. 2 of his schools are in the top 5, so that's got to feel good for him. Notre Dame comes in at number 4. They're an independent. They don't play the conference game because they're conceited and stuck up, and they don't think that any. Wait, excuse me. You want us, Notre Dame, to play in a league? Oh, are you suggesting someone's in our league? Oh my God. That's Notre Dame. They ain't never joining your stupid league. They don't need your stupid league. They don't need your stupid TV money. You know why? Because Notre Dame's the only university in the country that plays from coast to coast. They're the only university in this country whose fan base isn't alumni or geographically based. You're a fan of Alabama, you probably went there, or you live in Alabama. Otherwise, you're a fan of Ole Miss or Texas or whatever. Those are regional teams. Not Notre Dame. If you're Catholic and if you're Irish in this country, doesn't matter where you live. If you're in Nebraska, you're an Irish Catholic Notre Dame fan. If you're in New York City, you're an Irish Catholic Notre Dame fan. They are a national team, and that is why my team plays every single game on national TV. Every single Notre Dame game can be seen from coast to coast. Why? Because they're the only team that isn't dependent on a region. And they don't need your stinking conference. All right. What else? Number 5 is Georgia. Georgia taking on Texas. That's going to be a big one, man. It's going to be a big one. Saturday, 3. I guess that's going to be 3 our time. All right. Rounding out the top 10, you got Tennessee at 6, Ohio State at 7. And look at our ponies. SMU. You bitches, the number 8 team in America. Now I wanted them to climb. They were number 9. They were number 9 over the weekend, or going into the weekend. And I was like, guys, there was enough weird shit that happened in the top 10 where you're like, oh, they might move up a couple. They didn't. They just moved up 1. But that's okay. That's okay. SMU playing as the 8th ranked team in the nation right now. Let me tell you about something that I responded to on Twitter. A lot of you know I live on campus of SMU. I mean I literally live on campus. I live at Hinsdale. Hinsdale. I live at Hillside and what we'll call that? We'll call it McLaren. Let's just call it Granada. Okay, there you go. I mean that's on the campus of SMU. So when I walk my dog on the campus. I walk the quad. We walk around the football field and all that kind of stuff. It's fun. It's a very nice vibe. It's a very cool, very, I don't ever want to leave this neighborhood. I got to be honest with you. I don't ever want to not live, at least maybe on a college campus. There's something really cool about it. It's smart. It's money. It's youthful, it's optimistic. There's a whole cool vibe that I really enjoy about living on the campus of SMU. It's a terrible football school. I'm sorry, you guys. You would never know. You would never know that team is a top 10 ranked football team. Nobody seems to give a shit. There is no There's no like crazy stuff on the quad going on during games. There was a game on Saturday at SMU against Cal. It was a TV game and everything. One, they didn't even sell it out. They're number 9, playing for a playoff spot or playoff position. They're number 9. They can't even sell out the stadium. And then in the middle of the game, I like get in my car and go to Kroger, which means I've got to literally drive through the parking lot of the football stadium to get to the Kroger. Guess what? Took me 5 minutes. There was no traffic. There was no nothing. I'm like, there's a fucking game going on. I got my window down. I can hear. But that's all inside. There is like no. You don't want to forget the drums. You can always hear the drums from the band. I'm hearing that, but it's all inside. There's like nobody. Hey, get your SMU program. There's nothing. There's no like cheer offs going on in the quad. There's no tailgating. It sucks. It's an awful, awful, awful football experience. It is like the kind of football experience you might expect from like Bob Jones University or something that is totally. They are the number 8 team in the nation. Hey, SMU, can we maybe pump it up a little? Let's go. Let's start having some fun with this because this shit doesn't come around a lot. SMU is number 8. Indiana is number 9. And Boise State out of the Mountain West. They're coming in at number 10. There you go. That's the new top 25. Very upset with what's going on with SMU. Very upset. What is Adam? Adam's in the chat room. I need to pay attention to Adam. Let's see what Adam's saying. Oh, Adam's talking football. He says, it concerns me how bad Ewers can be at stretches. Feel like it'll haunt us in the playoffs. Oh, it will. It absolutely will. Quinn Ewers, God bless him. I mean, I would give multiple. I'll give a pinky on my hand. I'll give sight unseen. I will give 2 years of life off the end. I'll give 2 years off the end. I don't even know how long that's going to be. Like I might die at 59 and like want those 2 years back. I don't know. But sight unseen, I will give 2 years off the end of my life. I'll give this pinky. And I don't know, you can have a testicle too. I will do all of that if you just let me be Quinn Ewers for the next 10 years. Just let me be him for the next 10 years. Because here's what Quinn Ewers' next 10 years is going to be. He's going to be holding a clipboard in the NFL with the league's cleanest uniform. He will do this for 10 years. He'll probably later. No, he'll go later. He'll go 15 years. In the last 5, he'll bounce between like 4 teams making $10 million for each stop. He will retire totally injury-free. He'll retire at 37 with $100 million in the bank, completely injury-free. Give me the Quinn Ewers experience. You want to say he sucks? He's laughing at you. I was watching the game. Somebody's like, that guy sucks. They should just March Manning. Why are they even wasting with him? I'm like, dude, let me tell you something about that guy. If you want to hate on Quinn Ewers, don't hate on him for that reason. Hate on him for this reason. He's going to retire at 37 with over $100 million in the bank, and he's going to be totally healthy because he ain't ever going to play in the NFL. He is a backup. All right. Let's see here. What else do we got? 25. I don't want to do that story. PETA. Okay, so God, there's a lot of videos here that I want to get into. All right, I can't do them all. We can't do them all. We can't do like a 4-hour show today. I got to move studios. I gotta get in touch with Ed. Ed from Radio Misfits. I gotta talk to you today. We gotta talk about just not a lot of your time. Just hit me up. I got a bunch of videos here too that I wanted to watch with you guys. I wanted to go through some videos. Guys, you do know something that I've been doing? I've been compiling different interview clips from the Wicked People. You know the Wicked People? Remember last week we watched the gross Wicked People? Oh, they're the worst. They are doing this. Apparently it's a bit now. I think they're doing it as a bit. I'm talking about Ariana Grande and some alien from another planet who I've never seen before, with like wearing very non-mainstream clothing and a overall look that I am, I'm curious about. I'm like that, and you don't see that every day. That's why you're interesting. So I'm going to say you appear alien to me. What's her name? It's not CCH Pounder. I'm like, it's CCH Pounder, right? So it's Odetta Tompkins, right? Odetta Tompkins. I just made that name up. Oh, Odetta Tompkins. She sounds like some black woman who's been nominated for Academy Awards every year for the last 5 years, and I ain't never seen anything she ever did. And the winner is Odetta Tompkins. No, you know the types I'm talking. I don't know who this chick is. This she's a black lady. Apparently, she's a Broadway lady. I really thought she was that other chick. The one I thought she was not CCH Pounder. The one I get confused with CCH Pounder. Anyway, whoever she is, she's going around and they're doing interviews. Her and Ariana Grande, and they're just gross. We watched them. We watched one. Here, I'll show you the first one. This is where's the original one? Wicked shit is being parodied. The wicked shit epidemic. Where's the wicked shit? I'm trying to more wicked stuff. Man, I got a lot of wicked stuff. All right, well, here's an example of what we're talking about. Just talk about something that easily triggers me. People living their best life. Yes, I just spit out my sin. That's how real of a joke that was. That made me laugh. All right, here you go. Here are these awful, wicked people. Hold on. Let's watch this one again. Ooh.
No. We're not gonna. We can't.
No, you can't.
We can't.
No, you're gonna do it.
We've cried 500 times today.
We've done it.
Today.
We've done
no,
today.
and honestly, this is a PSA. So sorry, guys.
It is what it is.
There's
nothing we can do about it.
I can't imagine. And you know what? If you're
just
in the comments
gonna be
saying how annoying it is, I'll say it first.
I can't help it.
You understand what they're talking about here? They're talking about how they've cried 500 times today. That's just how freaking close to the surface their nerve endings are. They are that volatile emotionally. They have cried 500 times today, and they are now overly and very theatrically explaining how we're okay with that. This is why we have a goddamn con man in the White House. It's this kind of shit. Normalizing this shit is why people like me are like, shut the fuck up.
Our own. No. We're not gonna. We can't. We're
No, you get. Yeah, no.
We can't.
No, you're gonna do
We've
it.
cried 500 times today.
We've done it.
Today.
We've done
no,
today.
and honestly, this is a PSA. So sorry, guys.
It is what it is.
There's
nothing we can do about it.
I can't imagine. And you know what? If you're in the comments saying how annoying it is, I'll say it first.
I can't help it.
I've said
it's
it
not
first.
on purpose.
I'm annoyed. I'm tired. My tears.
We are tired. I can't even. I felt the same thing outside. I was like,
do not do it here.
So tired.
Do not do it here.
But
I don't cry before 4 p.m.
We can't do it. But we've been crying since.
I just can't. I'm sorry. We had to cut that one short. I could. You can do it here. I cry. I try not to cry before 4 p.m. What are you crying every day? What is this about? Toughen up, America. Anyway, there's more. But not only is there more, they've also spun this new parody thing. There are now parodies of the Wicked press tour. Here's one. What does this come to us from? I think this is... are these two Barstool chicks? Let me tell you something about Barstool. You know, Barstool, the whole Barstool sports thing, they got the best chicks. They got like the funniest and coolest chicks, and they're all hot. They like went out and got like super hot chicks who are also funny and can like do like really interesting things. Kudos to them. Anyway, here you go. This is one of the new parodies. Cynthia Erivo. That's her name, not CCH Pounder. It's Cynthia Erivo. So here we go. They're now parodying it.
With the roles was something that I think that should be studied.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Dayton, Ohio.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Dayton, Ohio. I can't even breathe. Oh my god.
Did I say something wrong?
It has been an honor to stand by Cynthia during this hard time. I mean, her battling cancer.
Oh no, I'm just bold.
I'm sorry, I'm a little hungry.
Oh, she's hungry. This is okay. We'll come back. She knows everything. She even knows. She understands the black experience. I don't think you understand. She's a chameleon. She's a shapeshifter. She knows more about being black than I would say even I do.
So sweet. We need to go potty. Okay, I love you. I love you.
No.
All right, that's too good. That's too good. That's too good. But there is more. There is more. There is new wicked shit. Okay, what is this? Here's more wicked shit. All right, this is apparently new. Oh, and they've invited new people in. All right, so the irritating wicked bitches, this whole thing is now growing. It is expanding. I believe they've added, I don't know, some woman I don't know, and the just endlessly, the relentlessly irritating Kristen Chenoweth. Oh my God. Oh my God. You guys know who Kristen Chenoweth is? The Lord has never built a more irritating woman. She is so... Ugh. First of all, not her fault. She's like 2 feet tall, okay? That's weird. But also, super hot. She's like super hot as a 2 foot tall person, which for me as a guy is very confusing. I'm like, how would that even work? Yet I'm still turned on. Anyway, the wicked people, they're now being joined by the Chenoweth girl. And whoever this woman is, I don't know. I would roll the dice and say Catherine Hahn, but I know that's not who it is. The wicked people are expanding.
It's all very emotional, and I just felt like you both did such justice to the story. It's a beautiful tribute, not to make it about us in any way. It's just you found your own light. It's gone. Excuse me.
Put the glasses on.
How did we get here? We already started.
I knew I'd need these.
Okay. So here's what I want to say about these people, because obviously I'm being a bit performative. I'm being a bit theatrical. They are obviously not evil. Okay? These are not evil people. They're just irritating people. That's all. They're just irritating. Why are they irritating? Because they seem to exist inside a fairy tale. These are like fairy tale people. And that's irritating for a lot of us who, we don't live in a fairy tale, all right? We live in, some dystopian, we live some weird dystopian suburban experience. But and I think that's irritating. I just think, here's the other thing. I cannot believe they're being authentic. And I truly like authenticity in people. And when I see someone obviously being inauthentic, I'm hating what's happening with the goddamn YouTube. What the fuck is that? What happened to my flag? Supposed to have like 3 hours. Sure. Maybe watch another commercial. Of course. I've only watched like 50 of them. Maybe this is why I ought to pay for them, right? Remember I said, this ain't my flag. That flag sucks. Ed don't like that flag. What's this? You're going to go all the way? Oh, really? You're going to make me go all the way back? Is that what happened? Fine. I can go all the way back. Look at this bitch. I can go all the way back. I like the static flag. Okay. Adam. I knew Adam would want to try and take the other side, because if there is a position that is just absolutely supported by nobody cool, Adam will take it. So Adam is defending these people. He is saying, I'm sorry. People who are comfortable with their emotions are annoying, right? He's trying to be snarky. No, that's not it. I'm very comfortable with my emotions. I vent them always. You guys always know what number I'm at emotionally or what category of emotion I'm farming today. You all know that. These people are inauthentic, Adam. That's what I'm calling bullshit on. I'm calling inauthentic flags on the play. That's all. It's irritating. It's like I say, I don't think they're bad people. Kristen Chenoweth might be. I don't know. She's just, it's just really irritating. So let me show you another example. Oh, the fragility is also upsetting. They're not that fragile. I'm gonna cry again today. I've cried 500 times. You're not that fragile. You're really not. But what you've learned is that when you cry, pretty little girl, the whole world opens up to you, and people are like, oh, let me take care of you, little crying Ariana Grande. Oh, is the big bad mean world being rough on you? So it's very performative. It's very fuck you, toughen up. I've heard stories about the shit you went through on, what was that called? What was that show she was on? What was that? Whatever. She went through some stuff. She's tougher than that. You dated Pete Davidson. And I'm supposed to believe that you're like, stop it. Stop it. That's what upsets me. This whole culture, there's a whole world of people, theater people or weird people in general, who they flock to that stuff and they make it okay. And it's bothersome to me. And if you don't like that it's bothersome to me, you don't have to watch the show. You don't have to hang out with me. I'm just having fun here. Those people suck. Those people, could you imagine going out to dinner with those people? Oh, I can't believe they don't have the potato soup. You already know that I have a problem with actresses. You already know that I dated a number of actresses when I was in college, and you know that I think actresses are some of the worst people on the planet. Maybe that has something to do with my feelings here. All right, let's go. I'm going to end with a couple of things that I watched over the weekend. By the way, I could do like another 2 hours worth of show. You know why? This happens because I haven't done a show since Wednesday. So every time something struck me as interesting over the past 5 days, I was just clipping and cutting it and going, oh, I'm going to put that on Monday. Oh, I'm going to do. So I got like 50 stories. I usually only have 12. I got like 50. So we're going to have to, just wrap this up because we're already going into hour 3 here in a couple of minutes. I want to thank you so much for indulging me. This is, again, I spent all day complaining about other people and their emotional issues. And the only reason that I am able to sleep well at night, emotionally safe and sound, is because of you folks allowing me to do this. Leslie C. is, of course, our executive producer of today's show. If you want to be the executive producer tomorrow, all you got to be is the biggest tipper. And being a big tipper is a big thing this time of year or this time of the month, I should say. We are in a pledge week. So thank you, Leslie C. A couple of things I watched over the weekend. Things I sampled. Let me see here. I want to show you guys something. All right. Yeah, here we go. Okay. I want to show you a trailer for a new Netflix series that I watched over the weekend. 8 episodes. And more on that coming. I don't want to, give up anything, no spoilers. But let's watch the trailer. This is a trailer for the new Netflix series. I think it's like the #1 series on Netflix at the moment, but let's see. Here you go. This is a trailer for The Madness on Netflix.
I think I'm getting framed for murder. You think I'm making this up?
We're not going to end up arresting you for this, are we?
I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm black, I'm on TV. I was there. I'm walking around with a bullseye on my back.
They are gonna pin all
this shit on you. But doesn't it feel like the end? It's murder of a notorious white man. The man was the Jesse Jackson of white supremacy. I think we're not prepared.
Did you do something to him?
This ain't no fight or flight. It's just flight. Do you see what they're doing to me? I ain't running. Something's coming for us. They're going after my family. So I need you to extract me from the equation.
This all's a bit bigger than you thought.
The police are looking for a story they believe. You're out of moves.
What are you gonna do?
Get my life back. And something's coming for us. I'm not a criminal. With all due respect, my brother, you sure acting like one. I think we're not prepared.
All right. All right. Picture, give me a picture back. Okay. So the madness. Coleman Domingo, he's pretty awesome. That dude's great. When I saw that he was in that, I'm like, yeah, I love that dude. Is he gonna kick some ass? Coleman Domingo is so cool to me because first of all, he's like a really highly regarded theater actor, Broadway actor, like a real serious guy who's like, starting to do movies and all that stuff. But he's an old guy. He's like my age, right? And he's not known for movies. He's got like a trophy case filled with Tony Awards and he's never really been lured, but he's doing acting now. He's doing some acting. And Rustin, I don't know if you ever saw him as Rustin from a few years ago. That was really good. Anyway, so he was a draw for me. Coleman Domingo. Oh, also, the thing that I love about Coleman Domingo is that he's gay and he's married to a dude and he's been married to a dude for like 10 years and he's out and open. But it would be like if you found out that Lawrence Taylor was out and open. I mean, Coleman Domingo is a badass. Coleman Domingo is like a 6'5", black dude, broad shoulders, ripped and buff, and always plays like a real serious. Well, I'll give you an example. He's putting on a jacket and he looks into the mirror on this show, The Madness. He's putting on a jacket and he looks into the mirror and he goes, motherfucking Stringer Bell with a Yale law degree. And that's pretty much it. Right? If you know who Stringer Bell is from The Wire. So that's who Coleman Domingo is. He's like a cool, badass guy who obviously in real life, is not what he plays. He always plays like a very macho, very man's man kind of dude. Anyway, I love him. He's great. So it's good when we get to see him do higher profile stuff. And he is the best thing in The Madness. Because The Madness on Netflix is one of the most unintentionally hysterical pieces of Hollywood bullshit I have seen, since last week. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about here. I was explaining it to my friend. And I said, so this movie was made 9 months ago. I'm watching it the first week of December, 3 weeks after a presidential election, right? But the movie wasn't made 3 weeks ago. The movie was made 9 months ago. I mean, it's obviously taking place in New York City around Christmas time, and you actually see things like in Times Square, like 2024. So we know when it was made. This Hollywood film, The Madness, was made and greenlit and pushed and promoted by a bunch of people who had no idea that Trump was going to win. No idea. This is Hollywood, left, liberal. The black man is the righteous character who does absolutely nothing wrong. And every white character in this movie is exactly what you think. The stereotype. Oh, he seems nice, but he's going to end up being a crooked cop. Oh, he seems nice, but he's going to end up being in a white supremacy group. It was such bullshit. It was so nonsensical. It's fun. I didn't watch the whole thing. It's 8 episodes. I don't know if I'm going to make it through all 8. But I keep watching it because it's funny, because you see these things, these pieces of dialogue, or like the world that they're trying to create, and they all seem like they don't have any idea what's coming. No idea that this coming, and it's not about the election or anything, but you can just tell the writers who wrote this dialogue, the producers, the directors, whatever, they were all like Hollywood people who are like, let's make a movie about how he's Van Jones, okay? Can I just cut through the bullshit? I didn't really want to get political, but the character that Coleman Domingo plays is Van Jones. Not really. They couldn't call him Van Jones, but he's Van Jones. What Van Jones is out in the world, imagine Van Jones in rural Alabama in the middle of a fucking, people be like, you got opinions on that CNN, don't you? I mean, that's what everybody is to this guy. Everybody. It's so stupid. It thinks so little of us as people. First of all, the other big problem, and it's funny, I found this little like hashtag. I think it's on Blue Sky, where everybody is making fun of this show, and we're all adding different aspects of things that happened in it. Like, hey, how did that happen? How did he know? Like, I'll give you an example. The whole premise, and I won't blow the plot for you, but the whole premise is that Van Jones he needs to take a break. So he Airbnbs a cabin in the middle of rural Pennsylvania. That's all. He's working on a new book, a new Van Jones book or whatever. Again, he's not playing Van Jones. I don't know what the character is, but that's what he is. He's a CNN contributor who's trying to get his own show, and he's very provocative and polarizing in the greater world. That's who he is. He's Van Jones. So he's in this cabin, and of course, he goes outside. There's nobody. They're in the middle of rural nowhere. He goes outside, and he meets his neighbor. And his neighbor just so happens to be Citizen 14, who is this underground, anonymous, anarchist, white supremacist leader. Huh. What are the odds? What are the odds? And then something happens, and Van Jones gets blamed for it. And so the whole show, he's on the run. He's on the run because, he's Van Jones and people don't like him on CNN. So nobody, it's a whole series about how difficult it is to be a shit-talking black guy in America. That's what it's about. It's really difficult having opinions as a black guy because every white man wants to then kill you. It's terrible. It's so stupid. So, okay, they're out in the middle of rural nowhere, and there's a murder that occurs. And Van Jones has nothing to do with the murder. Nothing to do with it, just sees it. And he's like, okay. Before anyone even knows the person who was murdered is murdered, like before anybody, like the body's cleaned up, it's a hit and it's vanished. Nobody knows it happened. But like, not even the police, the press, there's no reports. But suddenly, like within like an hour, it's all over online. Van Jones killed this white supremacist, all over online. And apparently, the whole country is talking about it. But you know who doesn't know anything about what the whole country is talking about? The FBI, the local police. They're like, what's this now? We don't have any reports of anything happening. It's so stupid. Nothing makes sense. It's a big moral shove. They just wanted to go. The overarching story is that a black man with opinions can't feel safe in America because of the madness. Stop it. Stop it. Mainstream America pushed back on that idea. If that's really what you think is happening out there, I feel sorry for you because it must be absolute hell, and you should probably get the hell out of the country. But are you kidding me? This guy was a penthouse apartment, drove fancy cars, had smoke show girlfriends. His best friend was like one of the most powerful black attorneys in the country. Yeah, it must be really tough for that guy. That guy is just nothing but, stop it. And the show is so tone deaf. I mean, it's just, I can't. Anyway, that's the madness. Don't avoid it. Watch it. Like I said, I'm 4 episodes in. I It might be a show that I watch like 20 minutes at a time before I go to bed, because it's nice to go to bed in a good mood. And that just kind of makes me go, yeah, these people were so misguided. They have absolutely no idea what the tone of the average person in this country is. They are playing to extremes, and they think that the 70% of us in the middle are going to be like, yeah, that's true. I totally buy that. I couldn't find a fucking hero in this show. I'm like, who's the hero? Who am I supposed to be rooting for? Because, yeah, he's wrongly accused, but he's kind of an arrogant dick, too. So I watched that. That's The Maddening. That's on Netflix. Like I say, avoid it, watch it, whatever. I think it's kind of funny. Landman. Peter says he's watching Landman. That's so good. That is so good. Landman is really good. Boy, you talk about one of the things that So Landman is the new Taylor Sheridan show about a guy who secures land leases for big oil conglomerates all over rural Texas. And it's played, the Landman is Billy Bob Thornton, and he is so great. He is great in everything. And I'll tell you, the only reason, because I'm a little bit full up on Taylor Sheridan. I like him. Like I said, he's terrific. He's prolific. I give it but I'm like, okay, it's enough. I think it's the Western stuff, 1883, 1923. I'm like, all right, I'm good, Taylor. Not everybody's as interested in horses as you, dude. So Landman, I was like, but it was Billy Bob Thornton. And I'm like, but that I should give it an episode. It's Billy Bob Thornton. I gave it an episode. There's 4 episodes available. I watched 2 episodes last night. It is so good. It is so good. One of the most important things for me in a pilot episode of a television series is what I like to call hit the ground running. I hate these shows that spend, the first 40 minutes doing character exposition and, getting us caught up. No, there's plenty of time to catch us up on who these people are. Hit the ground running. Show us something in the first 15 minutes of your series that makes me go, whoa, that's cool. This series ends up with Billy Bob Thornton being interrogated by drug lords. It's awesome. And he's in a bag. He's got a bag over his head. And, the camera comes in and it's the drug lords talking or whatever. And you're like, who's under the bag? Who's the dude in the bag? And then, Billy Bob Thornton starts talking in the way Billy Bob Thornton talks. Really smart, really quick, really interesting. God, it's good. So yeah, Landman is definitely, there's only 4 episodes and it's being released episodically. So I'm like, man, do I watch these 4 and then just wait till like January to jump in and watch like the last 4 or how many there are? It's very, very good. It's very good. Let's see. What else did I watch? Yacht Rock. I want to talk about the Yacht Rock series, or not Yacht Rock series, but the Yacht Rock documentary. Max. This comes to us on HBO Max. I watched this as well. Now, you all know I love Yacht Rock. I love it. It is my favorite genre, and I have always been unapologetically down with, man, my buddy Wayne from Australia, he brought the Little River Band into North Texas and then started touring them. I went to every show. You kidding me? You give me a chance to see the Little River Band in 2005? We got dancing in the dark, walking through the park and reminiscing. Hurry, don't you wait. I cannot be late. I don't know, whatever it is. I don't know the words. I just know the memories, the sentimental attachment. Being a kid, being a little kid, just hearing all that music, and that stuff, maybe you didn't even like it at the time. But when you get older, you have a sentimental attachment to it. That's the magic of music. That is the magic of art. Art affects you in a certain way. It brings you back to a moment. You hear a song. You don't necessarily remember the lyrics or know everything, but you hear a song. You remember who was sitting next to you in the car that day. You remember what you were talking about. That's the magic of music. You may not even like the song, but 30 years later, you'll hear that song and you'll be taken aback. And that's a lot of what I love in music today is made up of stuff that I was way too snobby to like really embrace in the time. But man, oh man. So yacht rock, I became familiar with yacht rock because of the original web series, which is why I'm so excited about this documentary, because the documentary is about the origins of the web series. And I didn't really know much about the web series other than I thought it was hysterical. The web series started like before social media. I think it was 2004, 2003. My partner Kelly and I used to play clips and audio stuff from it back in the day because I think it was Eric. I think it was Eric who discovered it. And he's like, dude, you guys would love this. And it was the Yacht Rock web series was an alternate universe where all of these musical artists from the 1970s were now living together in a marina. And it was about the beefs, and it was about, Hall & Oates were the bad guys. They would show up because they were from Philly and they were tough and edgy. It was just a very funny thing. So the promise that this yacht rock documentary would not only feature and glorify the genre of yacht rock, but it would also, focus a little bit more on the people who coined the phrase, because the phrase didn't exist. It was just easy listening or soft rock or whatever. But they created this whole vibe, and it's a big thing. It's a big thing now. People like it, and I'm glad they like it. I personally think that on Spotify, I have the world's greatest yacht rock. Can I play my yacht rock? Can I do that? Is that something I can do? What is this? Let's see. Give you an example of my my incredibly cool yacht rock collection on Spotify. Let me see. What do we got here? What do I mean when I talk about yacht rock music? This is the stuff I force my son to listen to, and he loves it. So here's an example. Okay. Let me just tell you that, and this differs from the definition of yacht rock that we are spoon-fed in this documentary. Look, the people who coined the phrase yacht rock have a definition of yacht rock that I don't think meets my definition of yacht rock. My definition of, well, first I'll tell you theirs. Their definition of yacht rock seems to be a revisionist history of something that they were being mean to, that has sort of taken on a life of its own and is now celebrated. So they've revised what yacht rock means. Okay, so in this documentary, they explain to us that yacht rock is just the most sophisticated rock from the 1970s. And when we say sophistication, what we mean is the greatest studio musicians, the greatest producers of the 1970s, the cleanest, the most non-punk rock, nothing out of key. If it takes 1,000 takes and 50 dubs, we're going to get this clean, pristine sound. Sophisticated music production is what they say yacht rock is. It is the yacht of music. Bullshit! Yacht rock is music you hear blasting out of some 60-year-old douchebag's boat at sunset. That's what yacht rock is. The music that people who have yachts want to listen to. These people are always 50 plus. They're not listening to Nitzer Ebb. Where that was a weird pull. Where the fuck did Nitzer Ebb come from? They're listening to yacht rock. They're listening to Southern Cross.
Got out of town on a boat on the Southern Islands.
This is, in my opinion, ground zero of yacht rock. This is yacht rock perfection. Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Southern Cross. It's about yachting. It's about boating. It is clean. It is pristine. It is beautiful. It seems like you'd pay a pretty penny to have something like this sound this way.
Sailing a reach before a following sea. She was.
All right, so there's that's what I consider to be the absolute cornerstone of my interpretation of yacht rock. A couple more songs. Here you go. Here's another one. Nope. What? Hold on. All right, here's another. Here you go. Right? Toto, Africa. Toto, heavily featured in the yacht rock documentary. Toto is one of the greats of yacht rock. As the boat is maintaining wake speed, they're heading out for a sunset cruise. This is what they're playing. Another cornerstone of the yacht rock movement, which I think it's important to make sure that Steely Dan is included as a cornerstone artist in yacht rock. Why? Because there's a lot of bands that are important to the yacht rock genre that can be easily dismissed as one-hit wonders or not altogether important. Can't do that with Steely Dan. Steely Dan is one of the most important bands in music history, and they are cornerstone of yacht rock. Any song that sounds like as the sun is setting and the yacht is pulling out of the wake zone is yacht rock. Bread, Guitar Man, Bread, very yacht rocky.
Who draws the crowd and plays so loud, baby? It's the Guitar Man.
Yacht rock. Yacht rock. It's a little river band. This is reminiscing. I was singing this one earlier. All right, how about this one? Great yacht rock again. Right now we're getting into a whole Steely Dan thing. Get anything else? What else do we got? Oh, here's another great yacht rock classic. It's easy. We're half in the bag. We're wearing white shirts and white pants and boat shoes.
You walked into the party like you were walking.
We ain't jet skiing. We ain't doing beer bongs. You know, we're out there on the water in the marina having a nice, sophisticated time. This is another cornerstone band of yacht rock that I think is important to mention because this is another one of these bands that, you know, you can't dismiss. Artistically and critically, they are geniuses. This is 10cc. Yacht rock. All right, that's enough of that. It's great. If you enjoy, I mean, it was fun. I feel like I knew more. I feel like there was some revisionist history going on with the whole yacht rock documentary. It started out as a joke. It's kind of like funny, dismissible music, and the people who are listening to it are like, you know, douchebags, right? But no, the truth is, because of the magic of music and art and that sentimental attachment, it's more than that. It's something that people of a certain generation whose ears were open, these are songs that are important to them. That is what yacht rock is to me. I also really appreciate something that I've always maintained is another very, very big and credible check in Is Yacht Rock Legit category. The influence, and they focus on this in the documentary, the influence that yacht rock had on early hip hop, especially like the G-Funk movement of the West Coast. De La Soul. De La Soul used so much Steely Dan. I saw your picture. I mean, De La Soul used that horn riff from Peg on, what was the song? What was that song they used to know? I don't know. Anyway, all of that stuff. Warren G, Regulate. I can't forget, not in love anymore. Can't forget, things will never be the same again. That's Warren G's Regulate. Okay? That's cool. That's G-Funk. You know what the G stood for? Gangsta. Right? So keep talking about how yacht rock sucks, because there's a lot of people who kind of liked it, who thought it was cool. They also talked about why that happened, why the black community, especially black producers of the modern age, people who Thundercat, right? I don't know who's Thundercat. I don't know who that is, but I Googled him and I'm like, oh, this guy's kind of important in music that's relevant. I'm not really into music that's relevant. Thundercat is like the biggest yacht rock freak of all time. He tours the country with Michael McDonald and Kenny Loggins. That's how much Thundercat loves this. But it was cool. It gave credit to a lot of these guys. You know, a lot of these guys are, God, they sold millions of records, and, you know, like the guys in Toto. Like, nobody remembers the guys in Toto, but here they are. They're like, yeah, you know, we were really big for a long time. We all have mansions and shit like that, but people don't think we were important. Thanks for saying we're important. You were important. Anyway, the Yacht Rock documentary, Yacht Rock on HBO Max. It's a part of the Music Box series, which Adam points out is Bill Simmons. I always get that wrong. He's great. He does a lot of really great work in documentaries, both sports and now with HBO Max. He's doing the Music Box series. If you like 30 for 30 type stuff, but you think, hey, this would be fun if it was about music and bands I liked instead of teams I root for or players, check out the Music Box collection on Max. Yacht Rock is the latest in the Music Box collection. If you really want to see the best, I think the best one is the Bee Gees. The Music Box Bee Gees documentary is amazing. That's really good. Yacht Rock's good too. You'll enjoy Yacht Rock. Barney says, rhythm is life and life is rhythm. That is absolutely right. That is why music has always been around. As long as a human heart has kept a steady beat, music followed. Well said from my friend Barney. What else do we have? Peter's throwing out Jerry Rafferty. He's definitely Yacht Rock. My Yacht Rock list has, I'm going to run through these, okay? Here are the bands that I have listed. We've got Crosby, Stills and Nash, Toto, Hall & Oates, Steely Dan, Brad, Little River Band, Todd Rundgren, Jerry Rafferty. What did I do with right down the line? Right down the line. I know Peter wants me to do Baker Street, but right down the line is superior to Baker Street. Baker Street kind of sucks. Jerry Rafferty right down the line. Oh. Did you ever listen to the lyrics of this? How did this guy not get laid? Oh my God. Not only that, here's the other thing that Yacht Rock really goes into. Things that we take for granted. You hearing the guitar playing on this? I mean, every musician that ever did a solo on a Yacht Rock song, it's like one of the most underappreciated solos in music history. They are all so clean and so beautiful. And these guitar players are like the greatest players in music history. They're like the Wrecking Crew. They're like these people who've played on thousands of #1 records. Unbelievable. Craziest fun fact. Great, speaks to this level of musicianship. Fun fact that blew my mind. Didn't know this. Had never really thought about this. Just assumed a bunch of studio musicians. The biggest album of all time is Michael Jackson's Thriller. With the exception of Hired Guns, who they brought in to do a guitar lick here or this here. The album Thriller, every bit of music that you hear Michael Jackson singing over is being played by Toto. Toto is the band playing the music that Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones went, we need the best studio musicians in town. And that's how Toto formed. Toto was made up of like the best studio musicians in town. And then they went, we should play together. And they had, Africa and Roseanne and all these big hits. But they were still, even when they were Toto, they were still like going, we'll still do studio stuff. And in the middle of them they had just won, the Grammy for Song of the Year, Band of the Year, or whatever for Africa. And like in the middle of that, Quincy Jones calls and goes, hey, are you guys still doing studio work? Because we'd really love to get you in with Michael. How cool is that? Thriller. All of those songs. As a matter of fact, Jeff Porcaro wrote The Girl Is Mine. The guy who wrote Rosanna, also wrote The Girl Is Mine. Mike, so it's very interesting. There's a lot of interesting stuff there. Breaking news. Coast Guard and a group of Good Samaritans are searching for 5 people who went missing amid a fishing boat capsized. It's Alaska. Do we care about Alaska? I mean, we care about them. But I don't know anybody in Alaska. I don't know anybody I'm worried about. I've seen maybe a reality TV show. It'll be a really good episode. They'll find everybody and it'll be cool. It'll be fun. Yacht Rock. Yacht Rock. America. Yacht Rock. Bob Welsh.
You are here and warm.
Dude, I'm sorry. If you're just driving around, you're thinking about shit, this is the stuff you want on in the background. By the way, Bob Welsh, interesting story. He was very successful. He was in a band, but they weren't super successful, but they were critically acclaimed and they were doing jazz stuff and all of that. And Bob Welch wanted to leave the band, and so he left. And that band got 2 new people to replace Bob Welch. Those people were Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham, and that was Fleetwood Mac.
I could look away and you'd be gone.
Yeah, so this dude got out of Fleetwood Mac just before they exploded. But that's okay, because he had this song.
Cause we live in a time when meaning falls and sputters from our lives.
Yacht Rock! Another key ingredient in Yacht Rock is warm guitars. The guitars are perfect, but they're warm. They're not Eddie Van Halen. They're warm. They're soothing. But also, and I think this is the most important thing that defines Yacht Rock, electric piano. If you don't have an electric piano, you ain't Yacht Rock. Listen to this electric piano. That's it. That's Yacht Rock, ladies and gentlemen. Electric pianos. Doobie Brothers, Steely Dan, Michael McDonald. All right. Dude, 3.5 hours. There's 3.5 hour show you guys got today. I haven't even checked. I don't even know if we got any tips. I'm working hard for Pledge Week, but I also don't want to move. I got to go move. I got to move studios. I got to talk to Ed. Meet back here tomorrow at noon. What do you think? Yeah? I do enough? All right. I love you. Have a good night.